Welcome to FigureFightClub, where collectors come to play. Discussions from Valentine to hot toys shaped by collecting weight. Pour a drink for yourself, collect your thoughts. Join us on this journey and action-packed talks. In the club, the fight is on. Action figures shine like the break of dawn. Collectors gather around, any drink will do. In FigureFightClub, we welcome you. Welcome with the flow, with the flow. Welcome with the flow, with the flow. Up high, let's cheers. You're among collectors and like-minded peers. From stores to conventions, we take you backstage, exploring figures from modern day to the Stone Age. In the club, the fight is on. Action figures shine like the break of dawn. Collectors gather around, any drink will do. In FigureFightClub, we welcome you. Welcome with the flow, with the flow.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, what's up? What's going on? Hope everyone's doing well and having a fantastic Valentine's Day. Thank you for being on. We're looking forward to talking to Duarte. So let me go ahead and bring out my co-host, Mr. Illustrated Figs. Trying to go to his music.
Believe me when I say that FOMO's a bitch. Did you feed the proportion for a scarlet witch?
What up?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Your sounds are a little iffy today.
I'm still waking up right now, dude. I was like falling asleep earlier. Like, my wife and I have that, 1 hour span together before the kids have to go to bed and everything, or the kids are busy watching TV. So I was like laying down on her lap and we're watching the show together. Then I was like, oh shit, I should probably wake up. But yeah, that's been my night. But yeah, I'm waking up. We're gonna get excited because we got Duarte on. So let's go ahead and bring him out. What do you think? Let's play some music for him. Let's see. We will do this one. Duarte Studios. The Dio King. What's up, man?
Lots is up.
What's going on? What's up?
Then then welcome to the chat, guys. You guys are always awesome, and thank you for hitting that 800. So we are doing a giveaway today. So I'm going to later on in the chat ask you to throw up some fists. You know what that means by now, I hope.
Yeah, because it's not just a giveaway, but we unlocked the next tier in the road to 1,000. What did we just unlock, by the way, at 800?
We unlocked, that's a good question. Let me bring that back up on screen. we unlocked the Hasbro Stinger, this guy right here. So, I mean, the next one after this will be the Barbarian Builder, the Kickstarter version. So that's the OG release. And that's pretty up there in price by now. So, and then, of course, Roll Keeper always coming in clutch. And then we also have a code for you all, FFC 10. That gets you a 10% discount on the dioking.com, which is also the Shopify link. Yep. But definitely check that out. And we're going to show off some goodies for you guys today. Let's start with you, cool. Duarte. I guess let me just start with, who are you? What do you collect? I guess, who are you? When did you start collecting? What was your path in toy collecting, and then how'd you get into like the whole artistic side of things?
I've been artistic all my life, at least from what my mother tells me. Right, she said that I was the only 3-year-old that painted inside of the lines of the coloring book. Right, so she figured there was something special there, right? My mom's pretty artistic herself. My sister, the same thing. My father's very handy himself as well. And so I guess it just trickled downhill, right, in a good way. But I've been pretty artistic all my life, pretty creative. I didn't have like a terrible upbringing, but I wouldn't even say middle class. Like, I got excited when my mom got a new appliance, right? Because I got a big cardboard box I got to cut and turn into a clubhouse that I could fit inside. And, the saddest day was when she threw that cardboard box out because it just kept getting in her way and shit, right? So diorama building actually started for me very early. Well, the inspiration was very early. My father got me into HO trains from Toys R Us from way back in the day. And this is when trains were like good quality and stuff, Lionel and all that. And I think he got them because he liked them more than I did, because I didn't know what the hell trains were at the time. But he got them to kind of live vicariously through me, so much so that he prevented me from breaking a lot of them when I was a kid. And later on, like, 20 plus years later for Father's Day, I got him a train set and he started building stuff. But when I was a kid, he would help with building things, but he was never too meticulous. He kind of just was like, here's a tree, here's a house, here's a dog. The people are inside, who gives a shit? So it wasn't till I was forced to go to work with him. He was he's still a semi truck driver, but back then he was driving, and every Saturday was go with your dad to work day and either learn to do what he's doing or just keep him company, which was the most boring shit ever back then for me, right? But he knew it was kind of boring for me too, but he appreciated me being there. So every time he was actually doing deliveries for KB Toys back then. So what would happen is they would get pallets that were damaged. And the pallets that were damaged, they would either just throw the shit out, or they would tell the drivers, like, look, man, I'll give you that whole pallet for $50. Just get it the fuck out of here. So my father would come home sometimes with like, why does this guy have 200 sets of Monopoly? Like, you know what I mean? Like back then, like if eBay existed, we would have been like well off, right? So every time he would like get something, but then he would try to buy me something, and he was buying me action figures like back then, like the Power Ranger flip head ones, and a whole bunch of things like that. And I wanted things like a command center, and like so like when we would stop, I would be like, oh, Dad, I need to use the bathroom. And I'd be going to the bathroom, but I would be like looking for the most perfect box, right? So I could take inside, because my father didn't care. He'd let me use the razors, and I turned boxes into dioramas, right? It was like a building, a skyscraper to put my figures on. So then I started like, it went from cardboard dioramas to cardboard with Sharpie drawing on it. But then the Sharpie drawing didn't last very long, because both of my parents were like, we're going to get high as fuck, because, it's like a Sharpie everywhere and it just smells like super strong. So, but that's essentially what got me started with the collecting. I was on and off. I was more into the remote control car stuff. Back when I was a kid, I preferred to have something that I could put on a shelf, but I could also take it off and do something with it besides just posing it, right? Yeah. The art of posing didn't become good until I had back problems, right? Where you don't have to move a lot and you can just kind of do this all the time. Now it's, more fun. But back then I was more into that. So I was on and off. I kind of got real heavy with it when McFarlane first started pushing the Spawn figures and like the OG ones, and and he was doing like the really cool like semi-posable statues. And back then we didn't have double, triple, quadruple articulation. So like this was amazing, right? My Spawn has metal chains. I've never seen this before. It's great. And then I kind of stopped again, because I really went balls to the wall with my automotive shop that I opened up, where I started basically doing what I do now, but on real cars and bikes. I was building motors, I was doing custom paint jobs. So like toys kind of just took a back seat up until I got injured, and then I kind of picked back up again, and like I started doing the whole toy and diorama and scaled accessories and all that stuff like as a full-time gig in 2013.
Nice. Okay. And then what do you collect today?
So I want to say recently, like about 3 or so years ago, I was kind of everywhere, right? Somebody was dropping a new line and I was like, screw it. The whole wave support. It's $200. Fuck it. Who cares, right? Now I'm like, the way my checking and my savings works, a little more selective on the stuff. So like some of the Mezco stuff, Valaverse stuff, I'm keeping my G.I. Joe strictly to Mezco only, or just custom like Mezco style, because I really enjoy the cloth, the soft goods. I really think they did a good job on the ones they've dropped so far. If they don't drop anymore, I already have plans in my head for ones that I could do relatively quickly, right? Taking some Hasbro existing parts and some soft goods, right? Without really breaking the bank. But I love all things military. The G.I. Joe line for me, like it was bigger for me when it was like O-ring 3 3/4 scale, right? I remember as a kid having, all the little G.I. Joes and getting bored of them sometimes, that I would sit, like, I always lived in a city, so I would sit on my little porch that was connected to my neighbors, and, you know, luckily the kid next door to me was like a year younger, but he was into G.I. Joe too. And he was way more abusive with his toys. Like, he didn't give a shit. He'd be like, look at this, and kick his figure off of the stairs and not. So I'm like, oh, he don't give a shit about his figures? Hey, you want to see something cool? Let's stand them up in the middle of the street where we could see him from our porch. And like, as the cars drive by, we just like, I hope it runs it over. See what happens, dude. So cars just flinging pieces everywhere and shit. And yeah, like G.I. Joe back then was like a lot cooler for me now than like I think the classified stuff is cool, but I'm not paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for old figures that I didn't get from 7 years ago. You know what I mean? For a Hasbro figure personally. So I'm more into I like the third party stuff. I genuinely like it can probably be the worst figure, but if it's got really good soft goods, you have my attention, because anytime that you can eliminate those lines, right, and make it look realistic, I'm for it. If it has the posability, even better. I delved into the 6th scale stuff because I got duped by Storm, right, with the Mortal Kombat. I'm a huge Mortal Kombat guy. So when they dropped the 6th scale figures, I bought all of them. And then I was hoping they were going to drop the next ones, and that seems like it's not going to happen. Big on Power Rangers.
You never know. They may get that line back, or at least the license for it.
I hope so, you know. But big on Power Rangers. So I ended up getting. I pre-ordered the Mezco ones, obviously, and I got the 3-0 ones, the 1/6 scale ones. I love those things. I think they're awesome.
Yeah, they're sick.
Metal Slug figures. I love the Metal Slug franchise in general. So I think the figures are awesome when you can get them, right? When you can't, they're like freaking crazy overpriced. But basically, just a lot of the third parties, like stuff that's been dropping, I think is really, really awesome. Everything else, I'm kind of just selective on, just because, you know, things cost a lot of money now, and honestly, I don't have space. And the space I do have, I use it to work. So
to build an empire, right?
So you like Power Rangers, eh?
I do.
Let me introduce you to a little thing called Fan Home.
Don't.
Hey,
you know what? I'm actually curious about Duarte's opinion about this. So go ahead.
So after the feed, when other people aren't watching, I'll introduce you to my version of Fan Home.
Okay, yeah, dope. That'd be sick.
Yeah. So I've been teasing this. I haven't been specific, but I have specifically said at the end of the month, worst case beginning of next month. So before my birthday on the middle of March. So March 15th is my birthday. Before then, for sure, I am going to drop the first Duarte Labs.
Okay.
And it is Power Ranger based. That's all I'm saying.
Let's go.
Duarte Labs. There you go. Is there now? You said it's Power Ranger based. Now it's obviously 1/12 scale.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It'll work with all Rangers.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Hasbro, Mezco, third party. Because I've seen Toku Collectibles is selling like some of the different versions, and yeah. So
that's cool.
Yeah, okay. We'll have to speak offline for sure on some of this.
You got him at Power Ranger. Now, is there any lines that you dislike? I know you kind of touched on like G.I. Joe's a little bit, but just in general, like you absolutely just didn't like this line.
Well, for the record, I don't dislike G.I. Joe. I just it's too like watered down for me at this point, right? Like if anything, if I can get my hands on the vehicles, I think they're cool. Certain figures, like I'm big into the ninjas, right? So like I love all of them. I don't care how stupid they look. A slice and dice, like I like all the ninjas, right? So I'll have some of that stuff, but besides that, like all the other, like the Tiger Force and all that, like it's cool, but it's not really my gig. I did collect NECA gargoyles up until the point now where they're not doing them no more, right? Apparently, which totally sucks. Lines I don't like. I don't think that there's a line I don't like. I think that there's people that run certain companies that I dislike, right? That in turn make me not want to support that line. But like to say that I dislike a brand would be like saying this is hot dog shit. It sucks, and that's why I don't like it. And honestly, all brands have QC issues at the end of the day. Some more than others, let's be honest. but all brands have QC issues. So for me to even say like, oh, there's a QC issue, because at the end of the day, my stuff might have a QC issue, you know? So I never base it off of that. We're all humans. We make mistakes at the end of the day. So in order for me to not like it, I would have to say, man, this line, just like everything about it totally sucks. And I don't think that there's a line really that stands out to me, because there are lines that are pretty good, but like the people running them are hot doo-doo. So I don't bother with the line, right? But no,
what about
I don't think there's any lines that I dislike.
What about, what's your opinion on McFarlane, on what they're doing?
I feel like I feel like they're idiots. Like, honestly, I feel like the people that are running it are idiots, because I just, the math doesn't math, right? I don't have any skin in the game. I don't collect McFarlane stuff anymore. I think it's oversized. You know, when you're claiming it's 12 scale and it's not, it's more like 9th scale. But I mean, listen, I applaud the hustle always. I will never fault a man for trying to hustle, right? But I feel like he's super hustling his customers, because you're really taking advantage by charging the things you charge for certain things that literally make no sense, right? Like, I know one of the ones people complained about was the Joker set, right? With the 2 figures and the again, I don't have skin in the game because I don't collect it. So I get to watch it, right? I get to like laugh and watch people like react to this stuff, but I listen, I applaud him. If he can pull it off and make money, congratulations. But at the same time, you're kind of ruining the industry for everybody, because now you got Hasbro and all these other companies like, wait a minute, if he's charging that much for that, I'm going to charge this much for this. So
it's $50 Spider-Man just came out.
You know, 99% of the time, for whatever reason, I either always like the thing that costs more, and it's not because it's shinier, it just happens to be that way, or I happen to like one thing that a million other people like too. Like, I love Deadpool, a lot of people love Deadpool, like I get that, but Spider-Man, for whatever reason, I can give 3 flying fucks about. I never cared about Spider-Man one bit, so this entire thing is like, I got the popcorn and I'm just eating, because I'm like, look at these schmucks about to spend $50 on this stupid Spider, like, bro, you know? And then you see like the SHF one they're about to drop and like all this other, and I'm just like, dude, first of all, I feel like if I were to, all right, I'm the biggest Spider-Man fan ever, and I just dropped into action figures today. What's the best Spider-Man out there? I don't care if it's soft goods, no, like, who makes the best Spider-Man, bro? You're gonna be like thinking about that for 300 hours, because there's like a million of them, you know? And then you're like, well, this one's better for this, but this one has the better, and this one has the better toe pose, and this one, like, holy shit, bro. And Maximum, Megam, whatever the fuck this new one's got, all those new like little thumb shots. So whatever. That's cool.
I want to touch up on the topic of you not liking people who run certain companies. If that's okay, if we want to go in a little bit more detail, we'll do that later. But just kind of going back, so you've never really kind of left collecting, and essentially since a kid.
No, it's always just kind of like jumped from one thing to another, but the act of collecting has like always been a thing, always.
That's cool. Now, like,
but it took a pause for collecting from toys to collecting like phone numbers, you know what I mean? And then like back to toys. So
there you go. There you go.
There was a little pause.
Yeah.
That's actually really funny. Now let's kind of talk about your art background too, right? So you said that you were always, as a kid, you know, making up these structures with boxes and stuff like that. So I guess, you know, we're kind of seeing the like your evolution in a way, so to speak, with the cool shit you've been making today. So I guess let's talk about that. Like, so if you've had this interest as a kid, making these dioramas, these big play sets, I guess let's talk about that. Like, obviously your dad was an influence here.
Yeah. So, and the other thing too is like, you kind of try to replicate what you see. And at the time, my father, before he actually got into driving trucks, he was doing construction for a long time, and he was building a lot of houses by hand and all that stuff. So, you know, getting to watching and getting obsessive, right? We're like, why is a beam at every 16 inches? And why does it go bolt up on that corner this way? And, you know, so a lot of those things I translated into the toy, because when I tried to just do a generic version of it, something about it always looked off, right? Because your eyes are like, that doesn't look real. You know, beams don't go together that way. They right? So it went from that kind of obsessive thing to then wanting to replicate it, and then obviously like seeing museums or like you walk into architecture places and they have the 1/144 scale buildings with the trees and the people that are like the size of a fingernail, and I'm looking at that like, I want to play with it, like sensory overload and shit. And then one of the bigger driving factors for me was, I don't even remember what year, 90 something, or the original Beetlejuice that came out. When I watched that fucking movie, the minute they opened that attic and I saw that, bro, I done busted a baby boner. I was like all over the place. Oh my God. Mini City. Holy shit. Yeah. So like my entire life, I feel like I've been chasing that like mini city, right? And just that world building thing, and that being able to almost kind of shrink yourself into that size and kind of be there. And then when you can take pictures and you're like, man, that looks real. Where's that house at? And you're like, oh, it's in my living room. Like, what? Yeah, it's 12 inches. Like, oh, I think that's cool. The reaction for me is more of a pay than the actual money itself, right? The money is a necessity, but for me, I live for those reactions, especially when people are like, wait, that's a toy? Holy shit, it looks so real. Like, that's the best compliment you can get, honestly.
Yeah. 100%. And let's talk about like custom figures too. So that's something you've definitely done as well. I've seen some of your work at Legions Con. So like you and I had met at least first at that Legions Con weekend of 2022. You're the first person to ever scan my head. I actually I was looking for those scans because I remember you sending them to me. So I got them somewhere. I just got to find them. So it'll be pretty dope to show off like 2022 versions of my scan versus like a different scan. Yeah. But I guess you had made a lot of customs that weekend. I remember seeing you had this cool Mortal Kombat dio, and we're going to show that off in the pictures as well. But I guess let's talk about custom. Like, so what custom figures like were you big on? Growing up and just you enjoy doing?
Honestly, I didn't fully get into the customizing of the figures and doing that kind of stuff full dead on until COVID hit and I had more time to be at home, because the customizing up until that point for me was the vehicles and the dioramas essentially, right? Especially with the RC stuff, because I would build vehicles that you would be able to open the hood and see an actual motor inside of it, right? And inside of that motor would have all the electronics housed, but it looked exactly like a truck should, full suspension, the whole nine. You're talking thousands of dollars into these things. I would build like hydraulic excavators that start at $6,000. They run at 200 PSI. They'll rip your finger right off its socket. Like, these things are 75-pound behemoths. Like, you want to talk about an expensive hobby. That's an expensive hobby. So at the same time, all of this is comical to me because, like, I understand the concept of $50 being a lot for a figure, but I'm like, $50, like, I can't even buy a battery with $50, for the other hobbies. So it's a big switch to me, and also it's a big money saver, right? Because ultimately, I have priorities. I have a wife, I have a daughter, I have bills. But I'm not tempted anymore to go, no, you know what? I really need that $10,000 backhoe. It's like, nah, I'll just spend like $400 on Mezco this year. It's cool, Yeah.
No, definitely. I get that. Let's see. We have some pictures we're going to show off, but before we do that, let's jump into some recent pickups. We'll start with you, Duarte. Do you have any recent pickups?
Actually, you know what? Where did it go? I do actually. I have quite a few recent pickups, actually. Give me 1 second. I'm going to grab it real quick.
That's fine. We'll go to Brandon. Brandon, how about you, man? Do you have anything to show off?
I got a few things.
Yeah.
So I teased this guy last time, this weirdo guy.
Yeah.
The Ben whatever line. So I found another one, and I'm gonna start with this. I ripped the mask off, and here's the nightmare fuel that's behind it. Now the problem is, you see how big the head is, right? It's huge. Yeah. It's bigger than any head that's this scale. So that's not gonna work. So we don't need that. So I went through the I was like, what can I use for a head? I don't want to use a good head. So, you know, like if you've been collecting Legends for a while, you've got a plethora of old ass heads from like the 2014 line, 2015, all the old shit.
Yep.
So I grabbed our old random one and I put his head on. Now he's to scale like a little boy.
That works.
And now you have a little teenager hoodlum up to no good collecting bodies on trick or treating. So,
we like to call them hooligans.
What did I say?
Hoodlum.
Oh, so yeah, so I just glued his face on, you know, did a little hot glue, and good to go.
Nice.
So these are pretty cool, and again, they're soft goods. So I got that. You got me with the live, but they're on sale now for like $11. So they're all on sale at Walmart.
It's a basic, bro.
Yeah,
it's 11 bucks.
But no, they're like 15 normally.
No, they're 11.
No,
that's normal price.
No,
whatever. Okay,
they're 15. I got her. I got this last time and I forgot to show it off. I got this Spider-Man, the Ultimate from the show.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I actually enjoyed the show. I watched the whole thing as a kid. He should be black mostly, but whatever. He's pretty cool. So check this out. This isn't a pickup. I only got one more pickup, but I wanted to show these off because when there's an opportunity to show off head swaps on the Monster Force, you got to go for it.
Yeah.
So I was looking through heads, and I found if you have it's the newer from like the 2-pack, it was like Cap versus that dude that blew up. They blew him up with the gauntlets and stuff. The bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
I forget his name, but I put his head because he has a burnt face, and I put his head on one of these guys. And tell me that doesn't look sick.
Wasn't it Crossbones?
Crossbones. There you go.
No.
Yeah. So you get the burnt Crossbones face, and it looks like should be wearing the helmet because he doesn't know how to play with fire. Yep. So that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
And this is a tease for what my pickup is, but I also found the just like a Punisher. Oh, look at that little helmet that's on him. And what's cool is it slips right on. And you're like, what is that helmet? What is that helmet?
Is that the Punisher helmet that you just repainted?
No.
Oh, okay. Spawn.
So this is
I don't know what spawn that is, to be honest with you.
This is the Kickstarter medieval spawn. It just showed up today. I was like, I didn't order McFarlane. What the hell is this? I haven't picked up McFarlane's in like 2 weeks. But now look, I'm still debating if I'm in or out on McFarlane. I'm so close to like being all out, but
until you buy more, and then you're like,
you gotta preface it with for a McFarlane. This is pretty sick.
It's okay, dude. I show for Valorverse, you show for McFarlane. It's fine. Let's just accept it.
Dude, this shit is hyper painted, and it's full of magnets. So I've already switched out the chest plate. All this stuff just like magnetizes, and there's like a bunch of these. They all switch out. They snap on. There's like 3 shields. There's like a shit ton of axes and weapons and all kinds of shit. There's like 5 heads. There's unmasked heads. That one head sits on. It's a McFarlane. If you know how the body works, that's what you get. But even like there's like the helmet lifts up and there's like a crazy head under there. There's a lot going on.
It looks like a good statue.
Well, I mean, it moves like it's 20 point whatever. But the shoulder pads are all like hyper hinged. They rotate and spin and turn like. It's pretty cool. If I dump the McFarlane collection, I'll probably keep this just because it's like striking.
You would keep more than just this though. There'll probably be a few you keep.
Probably just like 2 spawns. Oh, and all the vehicles. I'd keep the vehicles.
Yeah.
And some of the movie ones.
Got you.
But, oh, and he comes with this like dope like Spartan head with like the thing, but. I mean, yeah, it's got a plastic cape. That's kind of lame, but it's supposed to be like the toy, like the old one. But
okay,
yeah, he's pretty cool.
I mean, it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, dude, it's all blinged out. It's all hyper gold and silver, and it blings on the shelf.
Yeah. So
pretty cool.
Okay, nice. Is there anything else, or that's it?
Nope, that's it.
That's it. Okay, cool. Before I'm gonna show mine
That's
off
good.
before we show Duarte's off, but I want to introduce our surprise guest for the evening. Double J, Just Jeff.
What's up, man?
The chat. What's up, man?
How you guys doing? I'm doing great.
What up? What up?
We're going over some pickups right now, Double J. So let me know if you have anything to show off.
I have a couple, but you guys do your thing first. I'll go.
Yeah,
later.
I'll go next, and then we'll get to you, Double J, and then we'll go to Duarte. All right?
Yeah.
All right. So let me just get down here. I ordered that Walmart stuff that was out there, right? So apparently, I thought I ordered 2 Chun-Lis. I ordered 3, so I have 3 Chun-Lis, brand new in box. Yay for $10 each. Can't beat that. And then I got a Ryu. Sorry for all the light that's hitting it. So eventually, I'll probably end up selling that somewhere. I bought 2 of these. This is the Bunny Girl Cyclone.
That
It's like
looks
a little.
like something else.
It is definitely the little air motorcycle for the Bunny Girl figure. I wish I kind of brought it with me because I would have showed it off too. But she goes right on that. I got 2 of these because I have 2 Bunny Girls.
I bet she does.
And I got this today.
Oh my!
This came out today. So the new Frazetta Girl Vampirilla, and yes, we are giving one away today. We'll do that a little later on. From what I haven't opened mine yet, but from I see Wholesome Warlock is in the chat with the Purple Gang. He posted a review. You should go check that out.
Seems like you had a nice little Friday thickie delivery.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not done.
You plan on opening one of those?
I am. Then a good friend of mine hooked me up with this one, which I'm opening up right now. I showed this off. I was just on Same Time Toys right before this one, or this we went live. But I got the Nun from Snail Shell. She's like shiny, but yeah. I don't know, you guys probably. Yeah, it's the Snail Shell Nun.
She looks like her back hurts.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But yeah, this looks pretty dope.
Nice
And
pair of sandbags.
Don't you make those?
yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool looking. And then she came with like a feet pack, which I got too. And
Covers all realms. Great.
Yeah, she's gonna need that heel support.
but yeah, no, that was my guess. That's what I got. I think that's what I got. Yeah, that's all what I got. And then we will be giving away a Vampirella tonight. Just Jeff, what did you get, man?
So folks may not know or do not know or whatever, but I'm a big Mayfix guy, specifically DC, and I was really happy to get this in the mail this week. And I have another figure too, but I'll make that brief. But this Scarecrow is fucking dope.
I'm Jeff.
It looks cool.
But yes, the Scarecrow came in this week. Great stuff all around. And then I got this piece of shit.
Oh, Jeff.
I mean,
No,
it's
yeah,
decent.
It's
It's decent.
It's
In other words,
I'm just disappointed with something since my first ex-wife.
oh,
Damn, how many XY you got? You said your first, like you were collecting them shits.
Yeah, too.
thing. Not just toys. People.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not a monster. I still believe in love.
Yeah, we could love plastic. It's cool.
Like this, I was hoping for so much more. I don't know what I was hoping for exactly, but not this. And this is what I got. So
That's Mayfax?
that's Mayfix.
Wow.
It's the diddler.
It's like literally the first time that I've ever been disappointed in a Mayfix purchase, like ever. And like that's out of like 32 figures. So I'll take the loss, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
So, are you keeping it, or
Yeah, I'm keeping it because
He has no choice.
I mean, you know.
I'm like so deep into the Hush line that I can't like stop. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, sure, yeah.
Are you fully caught up with all of them?
I'm missing Harley Quinn, but I have everything.
Yeah.
Just throw them out and tell people it's the John Cena edition. You can't see him, you know.
But yeah, anyway, yeah, that's all I got, and I got Robin on the way because why wouldn't I get Tim Drake anyway?
Poy figures it out is asking what's wrong with the Riddler. I thought about picking it up.
So the shoulder joints are like womp womp. That is not cool. That is not what I paid for. That should
It's
not
a
look
little
like.
strange.
This is $100 action figure.
Oh, you have a dislocation.
A dislocation in the shoulder. This thing is like have you ever seen like a trucker who's been on the road for like 18 minutes, like 18 hours, and he's got like the toothpick because he's trying to quit smoking, and like it's been rotated in the mouth? This is what that is. Like this is like the flimsiest piece of shit I've ever touched before. Then
You have McFarlane, then, have you?
it's not good. It's real bad. The face sculpt itself is a little too soft for my liking. It's based on the part where he's in the armored truck and they just made the bank robbery and like they've got all the stacks of money, and so like it's that part of the Hush comic as opposed to the end when he's all fucked up and like scared and Narcum when Bruce is like, yeah, you fucking defied Ra's al Ghul. He's gonna find you. I'm gonna let him. Deuces, you know?
Yeah.
So like it's none of those faces that he got. It's just like the happy-go-lucky Riddler. And
But does that face look like it's supposed to from the shot in the comic?
like 70%. It's a little soft.
Well, to be fair, Mayfex, I mean, if you look at a lot of their faces, they have a softness to them. Like
You're not wrong.
You know,
This is
almost
just-
like an anime kind of feel.
This just kind of like stuck out more to me than anything. Like, there's that anime with like the lawyer who's always pointing at something, and like, this is what that kind of reminds me of. Like the I don't fucking know what it is. It might be a game or a show, but it's like always a lawyer who's like in the court and he's always pointing off at something, and it's not good.
Got you.
Yeah.
Sure, somebody will drop like a sweet like custom head, and it'll make all the difference.
Yeah, that way I can spend
I
more
agree.
money. Great.
But
Just
that'll
a
be
little
a first.
bit
I
more.
will say I've never had to put a custom head on a Mayfex so far, so that not a good sign.
No, it's not.
And especially this is one of their recent releases, not an old
Yeah.
school one. Yeah.
But then like you do this, and it's like, oh, so I guess
No,
like the
he
new
looks
guy
awesome. Yeah.
did this one, but like the guy that's been there forever was like, I'll fucking make this great, bro. Anyway,
All right, let's go to Duarte.
Tell us how you really feel, Jeff.
So overall,
I would like to, but that's a lot of curse words that I'm not allowed to say.
So I went a little Mezco happy the other day because I came across some really sweet deals. So I got me another one of these,
There's nothing wrong with that one. It's a great figure.
another one of these.
Casino. Yep.
nice.
Another one of these. I like this guy, Hazard. All right.
Yep. You went Gomez crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And then I got another one of these. It's probably my third one because I got all these ideas for customs and I haven't done it yet. But he's one of my favorites, Gomez of Death.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Like
a
a
good.
perfect little Bruce Lee. But
Yeah.
truth be told, I went a little Gomez crazy because the prices were good, but ultimately I wanted the actual Gomez's because I wanted to add them to my biker club, right? Because I picked up Biker Gomez, and he's probably my all-time favorite so far right now because I was in a motorcycle club for many, many years.
Mhm.
So I like the lifestyle, the brotherhood, the camaraderie, like just everything about it, you know, your bike, your cut, you know, just like everything, right? So I think they did a good job of encompassing that. Also throwing in the little touch of the Sons of Anarchy things, right? The little
Yeah.
guns and shotgun, and you know, that was cool too. So what I ended up doing, since I've kind of been in the scale garage game for a very long time, I kind of upped the ante a little bit and I made some accessories available. I also put together a little accessory pack, and I'm going to be dropping like new accessories every week, because when you think of a scale garage, there's millions of items, right? And just to give you guys some examples.
Well, before you go show them, but this is now first time seen.
Oh yeah, this is first time. So here's Biker Gomez showing off the motorcycle lift that is functional.
Oh shit!
Oh, that's
we got functional toolbox, right?
Nice.
And I also got drawer stops, so they don't come out. You can put your tools in there.
Can you point the camera a little down? Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, that's dope.
Damn, that's sick.
Right. So you close everything up. Got a scale creeper.
Yo.
Got a little scale Gojo, right? Because you need your little hand cleaner. Actual shop towels or scale shop towels. We got a little portable air compressor, the workbench with the rubber hose. We got the roller stool. We got the functional jack, manual functional, so you can actually, you know, bring this up and down. Good for videographers, photographers. This goes up and down. The cap comes off. You can pull the metal rod off as well.
That's cool.
And then the creme de la creme is obviously the bike lift itself. So everything on it is functional as it should, minus obviously the hydraulics. We're not going to have that there. But basically this little screw right here turns left and right, so you can actually adjust the clamp like you would on a real bike. I'll pull the bike off and move Mezco out the way. So this comes up like a real one would. The tail drops down, as you can see, wheels in the back roll. You could pretty much lift this as high as you want. You can actually adjust the stainless steel hardware on it to tighten it where you want. But if you want something more of like a quick, I have 2 preset settings with the brass pins. So essentially they would go in the hole, put that there, and then you can put whatever weight you want on it without having to over tighten everything, and it's not going to go down on you. It has that setting. And then it has the kind of in the middle where it would sit basically right about here, but it goes down, goes up. This bike fits on it. I actually, before I got this bike, I had a buddy of mine let me borrow, I don't remember where I put it, but I had the Ghost Rider bike, which is essentially the same thing. The test fitted on there because like most brands, and that's a pet peeve of mine, every company always advertises 1/12 scale when it in fact is more like 1/10 scale when it comes to Mezco and other companies. And true 12 scale, it is your, you know, import stuff where they're more of a stickler when it comes to the size constraints and things of that nature. But basically, these are the accessories that I started offering to kind of help fill the garage. I do sell all of them a la carte. They're on the website. You can buy them individually, or you can buy them all together in one group, and you'll actually save $60 total by doing all of them in one group. But then if you also use the FFC 10 coupon, you get another 10% off of that. So you end up saving over $100 when, you know, you factor everything in with the shipping and stuff if you get everything together. But if you don't want it together, you can buy everything separately.
Yeah,
no,
that's sick.
That looks really good, man. Someone, Joseph Laura, is asking if there's a light system. You got a light system?
So it's funny that you mentioned that. I actually, right now, I am finishing up the design on my LED. I'm going to have hanging style shop lights with the old school kind of like clear mesh over the top that has that like textured feel to it, you know, and have the chains holding them up. So I'll have that style. I'll have the round kind of like half dome style. And I'm open to any other style lighting that you guys might want, but those are the 2 that I'm gonna finish up and offer sooner than later.
Are you gonna have that like USB powered?
So actually, when I do those style lights, I do where I use I pre-resistor them, so they'll work from anywhere from 9-volt all the way up to 12-volt. So you can run basically a 9-volt connector, or you can have a power supply hooked to it. When it comes to the rechargeable stuff, I do it when I do that G.I. Joe spotlight that I made. Then I have those where you pull the cap off and it has the USB that plugs right in to charge the light. So then, you know.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
It is very cool.
So it just depends.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, shop lights, because I'm doing like dios shelves, and shop lights would be sick. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, definitely. And I can make, what I do is I make it in a system where I use micro JST plugs. It's basically just a small little white plug, and it has a male female. So I do it that way. So guys like you, let's say later on, you're like, I want to add another shelf and I need 12 more lights, right? We would just like daisy chain it, and you would be able to plug it into that extension, you know?
Yeah, that's dope. That's sick.
That's a great idea.
Thank you very much.
Dude, the way you did those windows too, they look like, just like how you would see in like a, like a rundown kind of shop with like the aged. Yeah, that's nice.
And the wall,
And this is actually like perfect example of what I mean by when I do dioramas for people, where I want to kind of make it multi-purpose, right? So if I were to take, let me see where I put it. I got shit everywhere still in this damn shop. I try to clean, but that's never going to work. So as you can see, I basically removed the custom fire escape that I had made. And this was an exterior, like an alleyway, right?
Yeah,
but the minute I remove this, and then it's not finished, but just to give you guys an idea, the minute I remove that, and then I basically add grab it. Give me 1 second, guys.
Yep.
No technical difficulties.
Dude, that looks really dope, though. Holy crap! Even just removing the ladder piece and the balcony thing, it just makes it look different.
Yeah, makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Right. So just to give you guys like an example, obviously, like I said, it's not finished, but I designed this little truss system here, like you would on a real garage, right? In that situation where this is outside the loading dock, but now when I butt this thing up against it, right, and I put some diamond plate on it, now it's just basically the entrance to the inside of a garage. And I also made it where, that pops off too. So now if I want to have the car coming in, the bike coming in, maybe the like the ramen van with the doors open and the guys are unloading weapons or whatever into the little warehouse type of deal. So when I do dioramas for people, I try to incorporate either multi-direction, where you have it 360, so you have like one thing in the front, on the side, and you have multi-purpose that way, or it's something like this, which is an exterior and an interior at the same time, depending how you use it or how you set it up.
Mm-hmm. Dude, that's amazing.
I see that giant stack of foam behind you.
Oh yeah, so what I was saying about utilizing all my space, so this is right above my head. I built a full rack right above my head that houses the full 4x8 size sheet of foam like you would have at Home Depot, so this way I don't have to have it be in front of me against a wall or something like that. Yeah. Listen, I'm 5'9", right? So at the end of the day, I'm not tall, so anything I could put above my head to make more space, I'm with it. Space is expensive out here.
That's very true, man.
Yeah, for sure. So what do you got next?
A lot of stuff I can't talk about on the publics.
Cool. Great.
He did promise to show us the Duarte labs after.
The first Duarte lab, that'll be here before my birthday in March. And actually, I got a phone call already. I had a phone call the other day with Bobby himself, and I will be setting up the diorama display for him at ZoloCon, and I will be selling basically whatever I put on his display, sandbags, towers, the accessory stuff. I will have limited numbers of that stuff on hand that I'll be selling there too until it's sold out. And I'll see pretty much everybody that's going. I'll see you guys there.
With Zolo. Are you going to be at ItchCon as well?
I'm not sure. If honestly, the way everything's been working with my schedule and stuff, and it's been really hard for me to commit to things more than like 2 months away from something, because it could change last minute. And at the end of the day, like obviously I know Ish personally, so if something did happen, I know he wouldn't bust my balls about it, but I don't like making that a habit, whether I know somebody or not, because at the end of the day, if it was Toy Fair or one of those places, they'd be like, sorry, bro, you lose your money. It is what it is,
Yeah.
So I rather not commit right away, unless it's something like Legion's Con that obviously I've been to 3 of them or 4, whatever the case may be, and it's like every year, and you know, it's like it's basically like a proven type of thing. Like, yeah, when it's something new, it's a little difficult for me to commit because unfortunately I'm not Hasbro. I don't have limited amounts of funds.
Well, it's just cool to see you in person because like you never, I mean, obviously you got the website, but it's I love the stuff that you don't know you even know exists. And then like you know, like at IshCon last year, you know, I walked by your table and everyone, I kept hearing whispers from like Trey and everybody like, you got to check out these sandbags. I'm like, what the hell's everyone talking about? And then
sandbagging, bro.
You got these.
Yeah. Yep.
These are phenomenal. Like,
thank you. Yeah, those are the sandbags are a hot seller. I think now I have probably 20 variations of like different styles that I offer.
Yeah,
now.
I'm pissed I didn't get more. I gotta order like a shit ton more because they're just the right size where they poke off the shelf like a little, but like having them all chunked up and putting Joe's and Vala and all them on there, they look.
Yep.
It just looks so good.
It looks really good.
It was the missing link, right? And that's part of like why I started the whole diorama building thing in general, is because I want to make things for myself that they don't make. And then I just figured, well, if I wanted it, there might be 5 or 6 other people that want it too. So let me make it available to them, you know?
and the little, you know, they did the first time we seen sandbags from Joe is with the porta potty. Dude, those don't hold a candle to these. Like,
I mean, dude, it's a night and day difference for sure.
Yeah. Like, hey, listen, everybody liked them so much that even Hasbro copied them, you know?
Right? No shit, yeah.
So I'm going to blow myself up for a second. So this is some of the stuff I have from Duarte as well. The sandbags.
Yeah, they come in different colors too, yeah.
Yeah, like what Brandon was showing off. And then that's one set here. Let me put it back here for a second. Here's another set I have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, different display styles.
Yeah, different styles
and
displays.
Yeah.
Here is another Duarte Studios item.
That's nice.
Those.
Yeah.
So that's the big one, and I have here that I just finished too for stock, the smaller one and the angled piece too.
That's cool.
That's the one that F's you up when you're not paying attention driving. You go right up there.
Ooh, yeah, just boom. Yep. Send it.
And then I do want to show this off too. I do have the drum set right here.
Yep.
And then I took them all out so I could show them.
Yeah, those are nice.
And then you have this color right here. And then you have this one.
I'm a sucker for rust and weathering, you know?
Dude, it looks amazing. Yeah, it looks amazing. And then this is probably one of my favorite ones because you could see it's lit up on the inside.
Dumpster fire with the bullet holes.
And then you have, there's a light in there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and this is really cool too. So, again, great work. And guess what, guys? We have a promo code out there, FFC10, for the website. So make sure to utilize it and take advantage of that.
Yep, absolutely.
And let me go ahead and put that giveaway out there. So, can I see some fists, guys?
It's the chat.
Fist the chat, guys.
Fridays.
Let's see some fists, and I will put this back in its box for its safety. Now, so just you have a lot of cool stuff, and you're showing it all off, and I love that. Now, you said that you couldn't really talk about the future projects. You did show off the garage, which was really dope. Now, someone did ask a question about the mech, and I know we're going to show pictures of it. But is there a way you could show it later? Of course, can you show that as well?
Yeah.
So as we get the fists, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the giveaway. If I could find the screen, I found it, and hopefully I spelled that right. So guys, a chance for you to win your very own Frazetta Girls Vampirella. Let's see some hashtags. You will obviously get this one. It's not in the packaging still.
I don't. Did you spell that right?
Did I spell that right?
Okay. Yeah.
I did. See? I mean, I should. I mean, pretty much the only comic books I buy at this point is Vampirella. So, but yeah, we'll collect some hashtags from you guys while we go on to the next things. So I'm gonna remove that. And then let me go open up my photo gallery, and then we're gonna talk some pictures. Something fell. I heard it.
I just threw my phone.
Oh, that was you. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. We'll be collecting hashtags, and I'll put a little banner out there for that. But we will present the photos. All right. I see Articulated Ninja has now shown up. What's up, Ninja? Don't, dude.
She is quite cheeky.
She is very cheeky.
Got a very valid point.
You threw the bait out there. You threw the cheeks out there, and the shark came a chumming.
I had a feeling Ninja would show up. All right,
Half the cheeks.
let's talk about now some of the pictures you had sent me, and there's some, pop.
Yeah, that was kind of just when I got back into collecting and stuff. For some reason, I fell into the trap of the thing they call pops, mainly because that was one of the things that my wife liked. So I'm like, well, if she likes it, she won't mind if I show up home with like 40 of them, right? Until she started showing up with 40 of them, right? And then it's like, holy shit, that's it. He's eliminated. So. There was so many so many different things, and at the time I was like, well, you know what, maybe I could do they have a spawn one? And it's like, no, they don't. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna make one. So I made a limited run of 30 of these, and I think I have maybe 3 left, but I sold out of them in 10 minutes. It was crazy, and I was like, Jesus. Really? And it's $200 a pop, literally. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let me do Clown. Let me do Violator. Let me do Cogliostro. Yeah. And then it went to, let me do Metal Gear Solid. Let me do, Rambo. Let me do Afro Samurai. So I started doing all these things that nobody was making, and I was selling them, but I wasn't really fulfilled, right? I wanted more. To me, it was just okay, cool. I just made these really cool, cartoony statues, but I'm kind of over it,
Now, real quick, you're doing even with all your stuff, all your 3D printed stuff, you're doing all the sculpting yourself, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything I do is done in house by my cell phone.
We use ZBrush or something.
So I'll use ZBrush, I'll use Tinkercad, I'll use Nomad Sculpt, I'll use Blender. It honestly just depends what I'm doing, because I prefer certain tools or certain sculpting tools over others for certain things.
Was it kind of a pain in the ass to figure it out at first, the program?
Yes. Still yes, always yes.
I had a demo for a week with ZBrush, and I barely scratched 0.1% of what the hell we're doing there.
Yeah. I've been doing it for years, and I feel like I've scratched 0.1% of it, so don't feel bad.
I didn't know you did it all in house, Brian. I honestly thought that you just got it from somewhere and then you modified it. I didn't know you were doing it all in house. That's fucking amazing, man.
Oh no, everything's done in house, because these don't exist, right? So I can't even modify them. I have to literally make them from scratch. And if I'm gonna the thing is, I can always make the first, and it's relatively easy. But the problem is, there's no money in that, right? So at the end of the day, if I'm gonna do one, I should do 20. Or 30, because at the end of the day, I might be able to sell 50 of those, but I don't want to make 50 of them, because by the third one, I'm like, I don't want to paint another one of these fucking things,
Yeah.
It's
really cool. It makes pops fun again. But when they first came out, everybody was like, oh, these are neat little tchotchkes. And then it got old real fast, and then with these, it's well, fuck, you never made a spawn. It's like you said, so you're filling gaps, which is awesome.
Right.
I'm a recovering popaholic. I had 200 of them a long time ago. I've got 4 now.
Hey Ninja, check your Instagram DMs.
Bro, I literally have 15 or 16 of those black and yellow Home Depot totes, and they're still full. I can't give them away.
Yeah.
Oh man, I have I own about a total of 4 pops, and they're stuffed into one of my shelves. And I never look at them. But Yeah, I don't know why I bought them.
I think the 3 I have that I'll keep forever is I got Bluntman and Chronic, and then I got a signature I got signed at GalaxyCon from Jason David Frank. I'll keep that one because you got to keep that one if you're a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Now this one is looks like some
the crates.
crates.
Yeah, so those are my small military crates, and then on our website I also have the bigger ones. Those don't open; those are just for aesthetics. They stack and stuff. You know, you want to do like a background, things of that nature. But yeah, I like what I like to do too is I'm not the only diorama maker out there, and there's people way before me that already own dioramas, right? What are they going to do? Throw those out, get rid of them, you know? So like ultimately, if I can just offer the accessories for you to add to your existing diorama or to put on your shelf or, you know, whatever the case may be, then I can do that too. And this is just one of those items that you would add into like a military dio or put next to your, you know, just like that with your figures. And, you know, just as a little example of some of the stuff that I'll be doing.
It's like upgrading a stock radio to the one you bought in the aftermarket and putting in yourself. Right, yeah, exactly. That's awesome. Yeah, I like that you enhance other people's work as well. That's admirable.
And see, and that's like, so I enjoy that process. I enjoy bringing that happiness to people that are like, oh my God, he was able to build my dream that I've always wanted. You know, I do it already for the things that I do like, right? So if you're a Valaverse or a Hasbro fan, like you already love the fact that I'm making military stuff, so that's great. But let's say, for example, I didn't. Let's say I was like into Roman gladiators only and like fuck all military things. It doesn't matter. You would still come up to me and say, hey man, I got a military dio. I want to make these parts, etc. Cool. I would still make them anyways. I just won't make stuff from the rip if I don't know that there's a market for it. The only time I will is if it's for me and I don't care, meaning the running joke, what is it? Metal Slug. I make that. I'm like, yo, there's like 5 fans. I'm like one of them, right? Because it's like such a niche market, but because I grew up on that game, I really love the game, and the figures do exist. I'm like, cool. Let me make the other stuff for it. Let me do the tanks. Let me do the crabs. Let me, you know. And if 5 other people want it, awesome. Then it was worth my time. And if they don't, it's okay. I got to scratch a little personal itch, kick the bucket a little, and everybody's happy. If I was forced to do it and I didn't get anything from it, then it would suck, right? So ultimately I'll work on anything, but if it's something I already like, yeah, I'm going to try to fill every void that's open, basically.
And I've seen your Gladiator dio too, which is phenomenal. That was
thank you. That just left. That I said goodbye to that with the G.I. Joe dio. He took that too.
Really?
Yeah.
That was a work of art. I remember that. John Tool is asking, how long does it take you to make a crate?
Like, how long did it take me to design it, or how long did it take to like print, put it together, like the whole process? What specifically do you want to know? Because obviously it's different.
I mean, might as well just answer both.
Well, design that now the way I design. And there's been a few people that have sat over my shoulder and watched me do things like this. That particular design, I'll probably do in 20 minutes. The print time on that, you have your green parts, your black parts, or in this case, whatever's green could be whatever color, but then you have your black parts and your silver lock parts. All together takes about 4.5 hours for all the parts to print. Assembly time is maybe 10, 15 minutes, you know, because you want to give sufficient time for the glue to dry so you don't get fingerprints all over it. So ultimately, after the initial investment of the design, and then the print time is the print time, right? You can't do anything about that. So after all that's said and done, you figure it's about 5 hours total per box with print time and assembly, but about 15 minutes of assembly time after you've already designed it.
Hey Ninja, just make sure you got one real one in there. Okay, I see it.
His keyboard's broken.
That's what it is. Broken. Yeah.
It's not his fault, bro. He's got what's that disease called? Chikatosis?
Yeah, chikatosis. That's a major disease. Yep.
So John's Tool is saying, wow, and people bitch about the cost of customs. I mean, that's a very good point, because it takes a lot of time to like tool things and print things and produce things, and
right,
it's very time heavy. And how much is your time worth, right? That's really the big question mark.
That's something that, as a creator, I think we all struggle with. And I've been delaying a drop to my next video on my Speak Your Piece series because every time I feel like it's ready, I end up getting a few more bits of information that now I need to like filter in, because I really, really want it to be like a good base or a good start for people to start understanding and bring awareness to not just creators, but consumers on why things cost what they cost and why the things are valued the way they are, right? Because I can easily tell you, hey, you know, and I'll do the math. I'm extremely transparent when it comes to this stuff because it's something that I take extremely personal because it's my livelihood, right? One of the phrases that gets thrown out a lot is, it's just toys, bro. Fuck you, it's my life. It's not just toys, it's toys for you. You're the collector. It's my business. I need that to provide a roof over my daughter's head, you know, put food on my table. So it's not just toys for me. It's a lot more than that. So I take it sometimes a little more personal than professional. But, you know, ultimately, I'll give you a perfect example. You know, everyone messages me and they're like, oh, I want that G.I. Joe dial. How much for that G.I. Joe dial you just did? It's 16 feet long. It's massive. Oh, my God, where am I going to put it? But if I wanted it, how much for that one? And I'm like, do you want to know my price, or do you want to know like the fact that he flew over here, rented a truck? Like there's expenses to this, but I'm just going to give you my price as an example. $9,000. That's what I charged for that dial. Okay. $9,000.
Look how big it was, though, right? And look how intricate it was. There was a lot going on in that gigantic ass dial. So
right. But now let's just say that. Let's just say for argument's sake, you don't understand that. All you see is just a big dial. You have no idea the paint apps. You have no clue what goes into any of this shit. And you're like, $9,000 for a toy is a lot of money, right? Okay, I agree. Perfect. How much time do you have into that dial? I personally stopped counting after 327 hours exactly. Okay. So now for shits and giggles, let's pretend that there is not electric bills, all that other stuff. Let's pretend that the foam was free and all the materials and the 3D printing and the design. Let's just pretend all of that just magically fell into my lap. 327 hours, right? So I'm going to come here on my calculator.
He's busting out the
math. And
that's just pure
I'm going to
labor.
just divide $9,000 to 327 hours. That gives me exactly $27.52 an hour, which technically is less than any specialty in the world, number one. And number two, when you really think about it, you're like, dude, we pay people $30 an hour to sit on their ass and check receipts at Walmart. So if they're worth that, then I'm clearly worth that too. But now you factor in expenses, all this other stuff. By the time it's all said and done, if I make minimum wage on some of these jobs, I'm super lucky. So I know the next question might be, well, then why do you do it, bro? Honestly, because I genuinely love it, right? The moment that my work stops showing how much love I have for it is the day I quit doing it, right? So ultimately, you know, when you factor in one job, 300 hours, make this much money. Yeah, but if you're factoring in a $9,000 job, a $100 job, a $500 job, you know, it's almost like that consistent paycheck, which is something that as an entrepreneur, we kind of yearn for, right? That's the one thing we wish we had. I wish I could take days off. I wish that I could say, I got a paid lunch, bro. But I eat as I go because I can't afford to just sit and eat, right? So unfortunately, you know, there's those give and takes, right? Yes, we make our schedule. Yes, there are a lot of other perks, but there's a lot of downsides to it too. And the other problem is the market gets flooded, right? When you look at something that's 3D printed, a lot of times they're like, oh, 3D printed, that sucks. You've never held any of my stuff. You've never actually, you know, there are people that take pride in printing and putting things together versus the people that are like, I'm just going to try this for fun and make a few bucks. And there's nothing against that. We all got to try somewhere. I started in my mom's backyard in the garage, right? So ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to start somewhere. But I see people taking full advantage. I see people charging buku bucks for things. They get it and they're like, this is trash. And then when you tell them, oh, I got the stuff from Duarte Studios and it's 3D printed, they're like, oh, 3D printed, it's trash. But they haven't actually held something good. And the other thing too is I never ever advertise the cheapest or the best prices ever. My number one advertising is always functional artwork, right? That's what I'm trying to give you. And artwork costs money. And I get it. If you don't think it's worth it, then that's fine. Don't buy it. No problem. But I'm not going to undersell myself any more than I already have to be able to give people, you know, one of a kind stuff at the end of the day, because then it takes away that fun for me if it becomes cookie cutter and I have to cut corners.
No, I agree, man, 100%. We have a question from Curb Stomp Films. Duarte, how much for a 1/10 scale Harley from Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man?
PM me pictures on IG. PM me pictures and I'll go over specifics as far as materials, because I technically am already working on a different Harley motorcycle variation for the Mezco Gomez. And so it might even be something I'm already kind of working on, or stuff that I can modify and work with it. But that is one of the things I do plan to offer, because technically the bikes on the Mezco figures are 1/10, not 1/12 scale. And there's a few of them in the market. Actually, I tested, here's a cheat code for everybody with the Mezco. You're welcome. You're probably going to drive the price up now. I probably should keep my mouth shut, but Hot Wheels made a 1/10 scale. Actually, they made a few, but one of the more popular ones is...
We're going to supersize him.
The Flaming Fire Harley. And it's 1/10 scale. And it's all die cast, and it's perfect for the Mezco figures. There's a few things I don't like about it, the fender, but I'm going to modify mine, so it really doesn't matter. But this is true Harley. You know, everything functions, everything comes apart. Screws, the Hot Wheels at 1/10 scale. Hot Wheels Harley Davidson. Look at you about to drive the price up. Let me go buy these other bikes now.
I'm writing it down right now
to the Amazon.
And here's the size comparison for everybody too, like just so you can see what I mean.
Yeah, pretty spot on. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Okay.
It's exactly the same thing, because it's 1/10 scale.
That's amazing, dude. Holy crap! I'm gonna go.
You ever mess with the Maestro model kit bikes?
Oh, I have a boatload of them. I still own my real motorcycle. I ride, well, obviously I rode bikes for many years, but the Maestro ones are good. They're perfect for like Vala and Hasbro, but when you get to like Mezco and the other ones, they're too tiny. They look like crotch rockets, like little baby bikes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I know to me, like the model kits are nicely sized a little, but the pre Maestro bikes that come pre-assembled, those are really tiny. Like
and they're like $18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, these Harleys are sick.
Let me just bring up Curb Stomp again. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Because I can. So because you can give a $2 super chat, I can do this.
You played the correct one.
You got a $2 laser pen.
$2 wink.
Thank you very much.
That wink is special, indeed.
We gotta modify it so when he winks, you hear the bing.
Yeah,
I'll play with that actually.
It adds value.
Yeah.
Let's see, Blake coming in. Go ahead, Jeff. I'm going to have you read this one.
Chikatosis may cause dizziness, bloating, violent defecation, sweaty palms, overreactive salivatory glands, hair loss, nightmares, daymares, self-harm, boils, night sweats, stigmata, and itchy palms.
And that's this motherfucker said stigmata.
Just ass cheeks appearing all over your hands. Just
I love Blake.
Articulated
Blake has me dying, bro. I be reading his comments sometimes, and I'm like, this fucking guy. I should be a stand-up comedian.
Blake in fucking real life is that way too.
There he is again.
Yo, it'd be funny if Ninja wins too. Guaranteed people are gonna be like, cheated.
Right? I almost hope he does, man. Honestly speaking, I almost hope he might not.
Shit's rigged. Shit's rigged.
It's gonna glitch out the wheel.
There you go. Let's go back to the photos, guys.
392 entries, and 390 of them are all ninjas.
But now this thing looks dope as shit.
Yeah,
That does look dope as shit.
Now tell us about this, Duarte.
So that's a custom weapons rack I actually designed for a customer a little over 2 years ago. And that was designed specifically for the 1/6 scale John Wick figure, which I also sent you the picture, I believe.
Yep.
Yep.
Damn.
So I based the design off of like a slot wall, like a Home Depot slot wall kind of thing. So every shelf, even the one with the drawers there, all of those hooks, everything is removable. You could slide it. You can go all the way up those lines. Every line is basically an adjustment. So you can basically adjust that peg system however you want. And that's in 1/6 scale. But I am actually literally right now producing these in 1/12 scale as well.
This is dope as
So
well.
for your Valas, your Mezcos, your Hasbros, like it'll work with all that stuff.
Maybe some batarangs.
Yeah, hey, listen. But essentially, Jeff, what you're seeing here is essentially what we would do for the Batman thing, but obviously more Batman centric, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now for the 1/12 scale, are you gonna do the lights as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
It'll be like one less light because obviously it becomes a lot smaller, so it'll be like 3, but essentially it'll be the same thing.
Concept, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that's sick.
this is really nice. And then we were talking about the Mortal Kombat Dio, and then I remember you sent pictures of it, so this was really dope.
Yep.
This is
Yep.
so cool.
Yeah, and these are Storm collectible figures, and then these look like real nails.
Yeah, oh, they are. They're real stainless steel nails, every single one of them. That Dio probably weighs a good 75 pounds because the rods themselves, I actually used 4-inch PVC pipe because certain things, why print them, right? Why am I going to print a pipe when like I could just buy a pipe and it's already smooth, you know? So
Kind of cheaper.
But the issue with that is the weight, bro, is astronomical because basically every segment is a PVC pipe with the edge rounded, right, to give that chamfer around. But then every ring, every collar was designed and printed to be able to insert the stainless steel 4-inch nail or 3-inch nail from each side. And there's 1, 2, 3, I want to say like 5 rings on each one. And then all the ones on the bottom, and yeah, so those are all real stainless steel nails. So like, don't fall on this dial. It's gonna be a bad day. And then that's the actual dragon from the game, just sculpted, obviously, and printed in house.
Jesus.
And then we have
It didn't exist, so we had to make it. You know.
This was what was the stage called? The Pit.
The Pit. Yep. So basically, it's like a 2-part dial, right? Because you have your pit at the bottom, right? And you get uppercutted to that bottom floor, and then you have that top area there. So that's actually true to scale to the video game. That entire dial is about 5 foot wide by like 5.5 feet tall. It's huge.
Yeah, this is what I saw at Legion's Con. I'm pretty sure in 22. Yeah, this.
And it's actually funny because now that you mention it, I remember saying no to you because you were the one that was like, hey, you want to sell me those custom Mortal Kombat figures? And I was like, no, I just finished them. I still got a few more. And it's funny because now I'm kicking around the idea of finishing the other 4 or 5 and then selling like all 10 of them.
Yeah, dude, I remember because you had the nice it was the Mythic Legions custom Mortal Kombat.
Right, it was Jax, Sonya, Sub-Zero, Noob Saibot, Scorpion, Guru.
Yeah.
And then I didn't get to finish Baraka, Raiden, and like 2 other ones that I was working on. But yeah, like Sonya was one of my favorites because it looked just like her, you know?
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I remember that. That was amazing. His keyboard might be stuck, actually.
See, I told him not to get those stupid fucking mechanical ones that your shit broke on him, you know? I started GoFundMe for Ninja's. You know what? At this point, he's hashtagged so many of them that I feel the need to have to go buy one and send it to him if he doesn't win. You know?
that's what I'm feeling like right now.
Like I feel bad at this point. You know? Everyone should just trade in their hashtag Vampirells. Just give it to Ninja.
I mean, this looks awesome. I remember seeing this in person, and I was just like floored by it, and I was like, I want it. And you kept saying no. I should have been like aggressively chasing it, and you maybe would have been like, yeah, that's fine.
There would
right?
have been an incident, an impaling.
Dude, listen, the only thing that'll make me happy right now is if Storm picks back up and gives us the damn figures that they haven't given us yet, or Jade is like, fuck it, we got the license, we're about to give you some Street Fighter style Mortal Kombat. Bro, I will drop every stage. Bro, it'll become oof.
So what I read about Mortal Kombat, so that's one of the first things, because I'm a big fan of Storm collectibles. I collect Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and most of this, well, not most, but like a lot of the Storm stuff. So I remember finding out Storm, I think this is when I was with Plastic Journey at the time, and we were the first ones to announce that that Storm removed MK from their line. But I've heard stories about, since they were doing these things with Mortal Kombat, they removed it because they didn't know what to do with it yet. And now Mortal Kombat 2 just got announced. They got the new logo, so I have a feeling you're going to see that license show up somewhere with Taurus.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and I watched some stuff with June, and from what it sounds like, that they took everything down because they were having like hiatus, like issues with the license, and I don't know if like someone died or whatever, but it was going through like a change period of who gets whatever, and it was gonna take them a lot of like stuff to like figure it out, which is why all licenses were like paused. But I guess once they've like figured it out, they can kind of like resume, if nothing changed with who gets what.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, the last Mortal Kombat from Storm Drop was so good with Shiva, Goro, and Nightwolf. They did a really good job with that drop.
look, if they keep it,
And Shao Kahn.
if they do the 112th, because I just saw somebody, I think Max, damn, what's his name? That dude who takes all the crazy Instagram photos. He got Ryu in hand, and it looks phenomenal. It looks insane. But
So here's
here's
an age-old question. I've already heard both of you pronounce it, but you obviously pronounce it Ryu, not Ryu, right?
I used to say Ryu when I was like younger, but I've heard so many people say Ryu, I've rechanged my way of saying it.
Well, you're about to rechange it back because, like,
I prefer Ryu.
I'm with you. If you want to say Ryu, that's cool. But then, if that's if the pronunciation for RYU is Ryu, then how do you pronounce the capital of Brazil?
Abby, what's the capital? Go ahead.
I have no idea what the capital of Brazil is.
Fucking Rio Grande. Not Rio Grande. Fucking what is it? It's goddamn it.
It's
look it up. Look it up.
Janeiro.
That's Rio. It's pronounced Rio de Janeiro, right?
Yeah.
So if that's Ryu, RIO, and you're saying RYU is Ryu, someone's got to be wrong, and it ain't the capital. So.
But isn't it Rio?
No.
Either how do you say his name? You just said it, Ryu.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
And
I mean, in a Street Fighter movie, they call him Ryu.
Right? So
right, because it's RYU, not RIO.
Yeah.
Actually, Rio de Janeiro stopped being the national capital in 1960. I'll just go fuck myself. See you guys later.
It's back.
Back to the Chiefs. No,
This one too. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we had the privilege to see this at IshCon last year, and this was a head turner for real. Like,
dope as crap. And no, this actual photo is from Legion's Con. This is where I took this photo from.
yeah, but like, you know, I've where we saw it first. I saw it first. Was, IshCon.
In person.
The last batches of that stage are going out at the end of this month, and then we are moving on to Guile.
Oh man.
Dude, E-Honda stage would be so dope.
E-Honda's coming. I can assure you that Ryu got his. Ken is getting his. We got the brick bonus stage. We're doing the barrel bonus stage. We're doing Guile. We're doing E-Honda, and we're doing Blanca for sure as of right now.
Oh, wow.
But like the way you mixed in like the 2D with the 3D, like I haven't seen anyone do it like this yet, and because it's so crispy and clean and matches the art of the figures. That's what makes it like in person, like a head turner. Like it's just so crisp and nice.
I'm glad that showed through, because that was my biggest concern. That was it was not only bringing the game to life in person, but also where it looked visually appealing, because obviously the game was pixelated back then, right?
Yeah,
so we didn't want that here, but visually appealing, but also still giving it that aesthetic, like you mentioned, that matches the aesthetic of the figures themselves.
Well, when you were 12 or 13 and playing that game and saw those levels, you didn't think it was pixelated. You thought it was the greatest thing in the world, you know? And like,
hell yeah.
You bring that back definitely with this. Like, it looks fire, man. Like,
thank you.
Yeah.
This is awesome. And now we're gonna go to. Actually, should I take a break from this and go ahead and pull the winner, because I feel like the chat's getting, at least Ninja's getting a little concentrated.
We should probably pull the winner.
Go ahead, pull the cheeks for Ninja to win.
All right, let's pull the cheeks, guys. Let me go find the page. We just have to bring it back up. We have 56 entries. There's 80 people watching, and back at it. Wow.
I hope I win, just so I can steal cheeks from him.
and yeah, I was gonna say you guys are allowed to enter this too, of course.
God damn.
All right, let me present. Share screen. We have 57 entries, guys.
There's no way. There was 57 entries just from Ninja in one post.
58
He glitched the system.
Amperella, it just came out today. 59. It's counting. It's going up. Should I hold again? Should I wait? No, you know
Your
what?
Valentine's cheeks.
Exactly.
It'd be hilarious if I went to 69, because, you know, we're all 12. So,
Yeah. Let me get my rigged.
The rigged version.
Once I don't have one of them, but I have the button. See.
Rigged.
So I'll play that when Ninja wins. All right, we're gonna go ahead and pull it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck, everyone. Hey, Brandon, can I get a drum roll?
I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Ron Ivy, congrats, man.
That doesn't say Ninja.
It does not.
The
Congratulations.
machine's broken. Do it again.
Congrats, Ron.
Congrats, Ron, man. I mean, you know who I am, so just hit me up on Instagram. Get me your information, and that way
On
we
Insta Cheeks.
Insta Cheeks. It's probably a website, to be honest with you. Quick, someone Google it.
nope.
If there isn't, you better make it.
Share screen.
Someone make that. All right, let's go back to share screen. Wait, actually, before I say that, is Ron Ivy in the chat? Is he here?
Show yourself. Claim your prize. Where are you?
I didn't see his name show up. Is he here? He's gonna claim it, otherwise we respin it.
Yo, you can hire a broker service fee for $120 to get instacheeks.com.
Huh.
Oh shit! Okay.
Or you
There
can
you
get
go.
insta-cheeks.com for $1 a year.
Nice.
Everybody likes discount cheeks. Come in. Come on.
Sounds like truck stop rates.
Keep hearing he's here.
He wants cold cuts, not the figure.
All right. Okay, I guess he's here. So, congrats.
Yeah, I
Oh,
just
there he is. That's him. Congrats,
Yeah,
Ron.
I just put his comment up.
All right. Where am I? Here. Now, dude, I don't even know what I'm at right now. So because I know this was supposed to show up later on, but I'm going to go ahead and just show it off quickly. Here's your Mech, and that's a really dope dio.
It's hiding. That's the that dio. I went from it being a pre-order to just a order basically on demand, because the Joy Toy Turtles, they're going to keep expanding that line. So like, I feel like there's going to be people jumping in later that are going to be like, damn, I wish I had the sewer. So at this point, order it, you get it 2 months later, and everybody's happy.
Oh, you got the skateboard rack? That's cool.
Yep. Yeah. And I also sell those things separately too, so you don't have to buy the whole dial. You can get just a skateboard rack or the motorcycle, or the cheapskate and things like that.
And if it's if you get guys, if you need to buy something from his website, we do have a code where you get 10% off your entire order.
Yep.
It's
I will probably be buying a turtle cycle at the end of the month. So
there you go.
Yes, sir.
Like it.
This guy needs a motorcycle.
Yes, he does.
Jesus, I want to talk about the Mech.
It's terrifying.
Jesus.
It looks so good. But I want to hide it from people because I don't want to show this off yet. I want to talk about it at the end. So here's the sides of the sewer.
Yep. So all those parts in the doorways and stuff, they're removable, because the idea is for me to be able to expand the sewer to the left, right, and to the back. So you'll be able to have those portholes connect and be able to just kind of world build with it.
So that's pretty.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
Now, how long does something like this take you, like just to make?
That right there, every piece that's in there, like design time, I lost track, but print time, you're talking just over 34 hours for one dial.
Are you
right? So realistically, you gotta think that I'm tying up a printer basically for an entire day to make that one dial, when I could be using that printer to print, multiple items every other hour, or every 3 or 4 hours. So that's why a lot of times it's not even beneficial to do the bigger stuff, because it takes so much time that the profit really isn't there per se, right? But at the same time, I'm not making 100 of these. I'm only making a handful. And for the people that really want to pay to have their figures displayed in something cool, another feature is that it's perfect size for Joy Toy, but that piece fits perfectly inside of like a DTOF. So if you have one, which most people do, it fits right in. So I try to incorporate a lot of different features so you really get your money's worth.
You do a really good job with that. Like I haven't seen them in person yet, but I've seen, me, Brian. I've been fucking following you for years. You know that. And like every bit of work you've ever done, like it's always shown, like even like the smallest of details are there. Like, it's great. It's yeah.
Thank you.
So there's a question from Action Figuratorium. Duarte, any interest in selling STL files?
So I have been, this is the question I've been asked since 2013, since I started doing it. And in the beginning, like there was always that one guy, right, that would make that one post and be like, hey man, selling the files. And for me, the instant reaction was always like, fuck off. No, I'm not selling the damn files, right? Like, it's like you asking Bush's baked beans for the recipe to their Bushes, or like to the Bush baked beans. Like, that's their shit, right? I'm not going to give away my files that I require to make the money so you can go and do it, right? But from over the years, I have noticed that certain things not lose its appeal, but kind of like they're not really, I don't want to buy that anymore. So when I feel like that design is kind of, I made my money on it. At this point, I'm not being greedy, like let the other people eat too. Then at that point, yeah, I would sell those files, or do like, I plan to do a Patreon or things of that nature where like every month you'll get, a little file, or you get something. So it's kind of like a give back. But the bigger, more complicated stuff, I don't know, man, because there's people out there getting thousands of dollars for BS designs, and the stuff that I put together, sometimes it's so complicated and so just involved with just how it goes together architecturally that I don't know that I would be okay. Like, yeah, I'll sell the files for $50 or $100, because truth be told, nothing prevents you from buying my file and then giving it to 100 people.
Yeah,
right.
That's very true.
Even with paperwork,
but even through the Patreon too, like, because I've heard of, that's a thing, right? Like the whole Patreon thing, and like joining a Patreon, and then they release files like once a month. But like either you could print it for yourself, but you are not, like, there's restrictions of like reselling or not reselling and things like that.
Right, exactly. But again, that's another thing too that there's no way to enforce, right? So
people will abuse it. Yeah.
When there's a way to enforce that stuff, like if there's a way for me to find out that, and this is the part that sucks because I'm 100% against anyone seeing what I do or me having to ask permission to print something or make something. I'm 100% against that. However, when you flip the script and I sold you something with an agreement that you can print 100 of them, but you can't sell them, you can't offer it as a, you know, it's for you only, but you break that, then yeah, I feel like I should be able to be like, delete, and now you don't got it, you're asked out, you can't do it no more, right? But at the same time, that's being a hypocrite because it goes against the first thing. So I say all of this to say that until there's a solid way to prevent that kind of theft, and that I'm not really a big fan on the bigger stuff, right? But now the smaller things, I could learn to kind of let go certain ones or design specific ones, right? You know, one of the reasons I haven't done my live yet or even made like a members channel thing on my YouTube is because I want to give you guys the best bang for your buck. I want you to feel like you're getting your money's worth, right? Maybe I have 2 or 3 tiers, and my most expensive tier buys you an hour or 2 or 3 with me personally on a video where I get to show you, right? And that might be beneficial for the guy who actually wants to learn versus the guy who just wants to see me to be entertained or to see what I'm working on. So I want to make sure that I kind of give to everybody, right? Where I do have my high-end stuff, but then I also offer the cheaper, more entry-level, unpainted do-it-yourself, because I encourage you to do it yourself, because 2 things will happen. Actually, 3 things will happen. 1, you'll get what you paid for and you'll enjoy painting it and it's great and you did it and it's the greatest thing since sliced bread and we're both happy. 2, you get it, never do shit with it. It sits in a bin somewhere until 6 years later somebody's like, hey, you know, this Duarte Studios thing, I got one, and you sell it for an egregious amount of money and you're still happy. Or 3, you get it, you try to do it, you fuck this shit up completely, you get pissed at the world, but you gain appreciation to people like me and the work that we do. And you're like, now I understand why I'm paying this much for this, because I can't do it, or it's too much work, or I just don't have the time or the patience or the skill set or whatever the excuse.
So Blake is asked, well, Blake had a first question here. Are we giving, we're giving away that mech at the end of the show, right?
Yeah. But we already have a predetermined winner.
Yeah. Sorry, Blake.
Yeah.
And then are the figures included in with the dios?
Yeah. You could tell he's been following and watching me because that's the running joke, right? 78 points makes the effort every time. If I put up a post and I say figures not included, he's like, are the figures included? Only for 78 points of articulation.
Jesus.
So Tyler is saying you could put made by Duarte in the print.
So Tyler, there's ways to basically patch over that. You know, like there's software now. For example, I could download a design that has, you know, your name etched on it 100 times. I can cover it in 3 milliseconds.
Yeah.
You know, and truth be told, let's be honest. Let's say that I am like the most popular person in the world and I can do no wrong and everybody loves me, and all of a sudden some schmuck took my design. Clearly we see it, the proof is in the pudding. Everybody defends me and everybody's like, oh, fuck that guy and whatever. In a week you'll forget about it and he still would have made a shit ton of money off of my design. So like no matter what, you're kind of screwed either way. You know, at least that's the way I see it until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
That's very true.
So I'm gonna keep going now. Here is a different one.
That's the spotlight showing you how much that spotlight spots, you know?
That's crazy.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty bright, man. I was actually pretty shocked.
Isn't it
at
like
these.
really small too, right? It was really small.
Yes. So inside of the printed piece, it's basically just this little tiny thing right here.
That's cool.
Man, that's crazy.
That's it. But this thing like is super bright, you know? That's the only thing I didn't make available on the site just yet, because I'm actually waiting for the stock of the lights to get in, because I didn't order that many thinking that it wasn't going to be that great. But since it actually turned out pretty good, I ordered a boatload of them. So I want to kind of just do an in-stock sale and then put them out there. But no one here has to really worry as far as like the coupon code, because that code's going to be open for a very long time. So if you got it, you use it. And whenever it's in stock, it's pretty much on anything that's in stock, right? So The only caveat to that is if it's like a pre-order on a dio or something big, you will still get your 10% off of the deposit and anything you pay then, but you're not getting that 10% from the whole thing that I collect later when it's done. So it's pretty much anything that's in stock on the site.
And now Curbstomp just came up with a what about doing a show like Bob Ross and build a dio and people can build it along with you? I actually like that. Actually, that's a really good idea.
Initially, that was the main idea, but the biggest problem that I run into is that I cannot do it alone, because if I'm busy doing and talking, who's going to run my chat and who's going to the questions and the super chats? And if I'm busy going to the mouse, and imagine like if I have 10 viewers, which I'm sure I should have at least 10 viewers, right? It'll be manageable. But the minute you break like 50 or 60, that chat starts moving, and I'm cutting, and until I can get someone that can help me with that, it's almost impossible for me to do that. That, or have a way that I could do everything via my eyeballs, right? Like I was some kind of paraplegic and I could just do everything with my eyes. That would be great.
Wait another year, and guarantee you with technology we'll get there.
Maybe, yeah. Listen, I hope so.
Glue gun, you're like, all right, now we're gonna glue gun a bead, and oh shit, oh you know. Happy little accident. Roll with it. You know?
Yeah.
No, you'll need a Neuralink, and then you can do that. You can run a.
You know, the idea of that is cool and all, like in theory, but you ain't putting shit in my head. Nope.
Yeah.
Well, you just don't want to go first.
Well, the question is, what else are they going to take out of your head once it goes in, right?
Yeah, nah, bro. You think I want somebody to be able to hit Alt Control Delete on me? Nope.
Yeah. Well, they had the first recipient on Joe Rogan, and it's actually kind of sweet. Like,
I listen, I believe it, but I'm old school, bro.
Yeah.
No, I'll go when it's like when you can pick it up at like Target and it just like slots right in. Then you know it's perfected.
What does it slot into though?
All right.
It depends. It depends.
Now let's talk about this giant dio right here.
That's part of the 16-foot. That's part of the 16-foot GI Joe dio. That building right there stands over 4 feet tall. It's about 2 feet deep and 4 foot wide.
Holy crap!
Two his tanks fit inside of that main porthole.
This right here comes down, right?
Yeah, it opens up, and 2 his fit right inside of it, side by side.
That's crazy. There's the spotlight.
Yep. Spotting.
How much for something like that? How much pre-planning goes into it versus you just kind of like make it up as you go?
So pre-planning goes into everything, even my tiny DTOF dios. I pre-plan. Obviously not to the length that these get pre-planned, but the part that's the most exhausting for me is the mental part, because I built this diorama 100 times in my head. Like it starts on a quick sketch. It starts with either some pictures or references from the customer, or some sketches from my end. If I explain to him, yeah, man, I see like a mountain and a waterfall, like I'll do a quick sketch and maybe I'll send them a sample of like a color tone or something of that sort, very like minimalistic. And because I'm always looking for that instant approval, because then when the approval happens, then from there, I'm like, okay, cool. It's a waterfall, but let's put this in it, and the rock goes here, and then the changes kind of happen naturally as it goes, because I'm just looking at it, and it's kind of like throwing paint at it, but in a way it's like cutting, and okay, maybe this tree goes here and rotates here and fits here. So you know, there's definitely quite a few different things that go into that ultimately, but there's always pre-planning, especially mentally. Like I will not start cutting until I've built this thing in my head, because I want to go through all the possible hurdles and figure them out, so that when I'm actually physically doing it, I don't stop. Because if I'm flowing and I have to stop because I can't figure something out, or I didn't get that part figured out, it throws my game off completely, and then I just don't want to look at it for like another day or two.
What about like with Ryan's dio in his basement, where you like built it like on site? Was that a little different of an experience?
So yes and no, because that was my first experience with the action figure community, but not my first experience with doing it in general, because I've done the slot track cars, I've done the HO trains at people's houses, I've done smaller dioramas for other companies, and like I've gone to people's houses and businesses and done similar things. So that part wasn't different. But the part that was different for me was that perfectionist part in me where I overthink things. That at that point, it's like there's no time to think. It's like, okay, general concept. What parts do you have already? Like that castle he had like started, that tower. So all right, cool. Yeah. So that needs walls, that needs ramparts, that needs this, that needs that. Great. I don't know what they're gonna look like yet, but I know I need those. Check. You want a mountain on there? You want, oh yeah, let's throw a mountain. Want some trees? Okay, let's throw some trees. Okay, cool. Well, now we got a general idea. And then at that point, I just start mapping. I kind of go with the flow. And when I'm going with the flow, it helps that I have someone like my brother came with me, BK. He came and he was actually basically like my tool guy. Like he knows a few techniques that I've taught him to help expedite things, but he helped a lot with, you know, I'm doing, like I'm cutting or I'm carving and this piece is already done. Here, bro, here's the paint, here's the brush, black that whole shit out for me while I continue to do this. So there was a constant like go, go, go. And I think I slept maybe 6 hours, 5 hours a night, if that, but I was up till 2, 3 in the morning every night, just nonstop for that weekend. And we got that done, finished a handful of other smaller dials under that. So definitely did a lot for that week, but it was very, very exhausting, like mentally, because it was like forcing my brain to not do what it normally wants to do.
Yeah. I mean, but that dial looks sick, dude. Every time I go to Ryan's, it's like I always take pictures with it, dude. Every single time.
I love the pressure though. I like working under pressure, so I don't mind it. You know.
Yeah. So this was with it has lights. It looks like inside, and then they all come down, which is dope. And you said 2 his tanks could fit in here.
2 his tanks can fit in there, and then on the sides you can fit like the quads or just supplies, more troops. You know, it's about a foot. You know, wide space-wise, but that middle one's about 2.5 feet wide, give or take. So yeah, you could fit 2 side by side.
Holy crap! John is asking, have you ever made a CNC molds out of aluminum or steel? Pouring plastic is super easy.
I've had people make them for me. I know how to work the CNC programs and the machines and all that stuff. I don't own any, so I don't do that stuff in house because I just don't have the space or the funds, you know, for those types of machines. I do have a little bit of experience with it, but it's not something that I use regularly, like because it's just out of my reach.
Yeah. Talib is asking, do you add Easter eggs in the dios?
Every single one.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Every single one. And it's funny because to this day, there's still so many that haven't been found yet that only I know of. And like, I have the picture proof of all of them too, but yeah, it's no one.
Like what would be an example of an Easter egg?
Maybe not tell what dio it's in if they haven't found it yet, but like what just the Easter egg itself.
Just in general, yeah.
I'm trying to think of
maybe some beads.
No, so I remember, luckily nothing yet in this industry, but in the RC industry, there were a few customers that like during the process for whatever reason just like pissed me off. Like whether they kind of like changed things up last minute or just something. I don't remember what it was, but just pissed me off. So for those like 3 or 4 customers that pissed me off, they had like little micro dicks and like, you know, certain parts of the dial, and you might never see it, but I know they're there, you know, and it's like, here you go, some dicks for the dick, you know.
That's pretty funny.
But in this industry, like I've done like very, very clear, like perfect little smiley faces. I've done like cartoony, like 3-finger thumbs up kind of thing, like a Mickey Mouse kind of hand thumbs up and stuff. And sometimes it's right in front of you and you don't even, that's the funnier ones, the ones that are right in front of you don't see it, right? And then there's ones that I try to hide intentionally, and I've only ever had like 1 or 2 people find those, and it was a by mistake thing. That was the funniest part.
Oh, that's hilarious. Max is asking, where's the bathroom?
Oh, it's outside. It's outside. You pick a corner and you piss. Fine.
Yeah.
Just don't wipe your ass with the leaves. That's all I'm saying.
It's poison ivy.
Yeah, they're only plastic.
But actually, Maximilian, I haven't put it on the site yet, but I do have a fully functional with toilet paper and urinal porta-john for our guys that works, door opens, the whole 9, little TP in there.
Cool.
That's actually really
cool.
Like
That's cool.
Action Figuratorium is asking Duarte, have you seen, and if so, what is your opinion on Empire Toy Works and his wooden 118 sets? And any can chime in.
I have not heard of Empire Toy Works. I'm literally putting it in right now to see.
I think I've heard of. I think I follow him. Maybe I thought he did.
You know why? Well, listen. Based off of what I'm finding here, just popped up on his Facebook. But basing on what I'm seeing here, it's a lot of like Star Wars relevant stuff, and that's probably why I've never heard of him, because I'm not a big Star Wars. Like, I like Star Wars, like the next guy, but I'm not like obsessed by any means. Like, my favorite character is Darth Maul. And that's about as far as it goes for me, right? Like, I care less about anything else. So, like, I'm not super obsessed with the stuff. I know the lore, and like, I've done dios and things of that nature, but I'm not really obsessed with it, much less the 1/18 scale on top of that. So that's probably why I haven't heard. But from scrolling through his stuff, it looks pretty legit. I like it. If it's all wood, because you're saying wood, so I'm assuming it's like, if this is all wood, that's even more impressive. But I think it's cool for someone who's into 18 scale and Star Wars. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, 18 scale in general is basically the best world building, because you can fit 18 scale damn near anywhere, right? And 12 scale, as you can see, a garage is like 3 feet long, and you know, it tends to get a little sizey, you know?
Yeah. John is saying, I feel like you, Duarte, are ripe for a Kickstarter.
John, you know, you're not the first person that said that, and I have a lot of ideas, but it's like, I guess it's that search for perfection where I'm trying to do the perfect first one that maybe I'm skipping through a lot of things I should have used or I should use to do so. I'm kind of hoping that the Mech will be the Kickstarter, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. And Wholesome Warlock is saying, you know, since you're making a lot of the bathroom designs, he wants shit in a bucket.
Okay.
All right.
We could do shit in the bucket. We could do that little portable top thing for. I make 5-gallon buckets already, so I'm halfway there.
There you go.
Do you want it scented or not? That's probably the most important.
I mean, maybe put a little spray in there, a little fart spray. Why not?
You got to make some little poopery spray.
The realism there. Let's see the chat. Oh, J-Mac is saying, do you want me to tell you how to use the 3 seashells?
Yes, please. Somebody explain that shit to me, because I still don't get it.
Rinse, scoop, rinse.
Yuck.
There you go. You're welcome.
All right. Nope.
Help with the Kickstarter, help with funding, get you to the next level. Always the hardest in the biz.
It's true.
Yeah.
And Wholesome said that he wants them scented, please.
Scented.
I knew he would, but I had to ask.
Let's talk about the Dio stuff again. So this is the giant. What was it? How many feet was it? 16.
16. Yep.
Yeah.
That's insane, dude. That's literally the width of my toy room upstairs is 16 feet.
Yeah. To have the space to even just build it is crazy.
I know.
My kitchen was 16 feet. I had this thing sitting on my kitchen floor, and it touched the wall, and it touched my sink. Like, I had to walk over it.
That's crazy, dude. I just
luckily I had that space there in my little living room area, because when we moved into this place here, it was like, it's one of those like bigger than the rest of the houses in the neighborhood, kind of sits out of place, but it just happens to have those 2 rooms that don't have a wall, so it's like one long room, so it was perfect for this. But as I was building it, I was doing it in this room 1 section at a time, because I did 4 cutouts of 4 foot by 4 foot squares, and I was just working on little bits by bits, because I wish in a perfect world I would have it laid out in a center table one end to the other, and I could just walk around it and make modifications as I go. But it made it more stressful for me, because a lot of times I'm doing these modifications and I'm hoping that it matches good with the next section that's going to be next to it, that, you know, so there was a lot of that give and take too, and a lot of carrying it back and forth, but it's done now, so hallelujah.
Now, how much does this weigh?
Believe it or not, the 3D printed parts I designed for it weigh more than the entire castle itself, because foam doesn't weigh shit. But that whole piece right there, I want to say maybe 20 pounds, maybe.
20 pounds. So it can hold a fairly decent amount of figures on.
Oh, everything I built is 1-inch thick foam. You can stack all of Hasbro's figures on there and it's not going to go anywhere. Yeah, I overbuild for that purpose because number one, you want to stack as many figures on it as possible. But number two, people forget. And it's a compliment in a way, I guess, right? When the cement floor looks like cement floor, they forget that it's actually foam, and they'll do a lot of like the press on the foam to try to pose their figure, and then they're like, oh, I dented the foam, like so I try to give it a little thicker and more beef just so there's no flex or no break, or thinking of the oops, my bad, I forgot it wasn't, you know.
Take care, John. Thanks for jumping in, man.
Yeah, bro.
See you, John.
Let's see, we got some side shots. Dude, this thing is massive and it looks awesome. I again, like, I wish I had. Jeez, does that? He keeps showing up everywhere. He keeps showing up everywhere.
The helicopter looks small, like, and that thing's huge.
And that's the dragonfly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks. I guess I could announce it again too, right? I mean, might as well bring this back up since we got 58 people watching, and some of them may not be subscribed. So we need that subscription because we're on the road. We're on the road to 1,000. We unlocked the Hasbro Singer earlier today. But at 1,000, we're giving away a HasLab Dragonfly. And then we're going to have a big party stream on March 7th, which will include all of this and then some more stuff that I'll go ahead and drop in there later on. But the Dragonfly that you see in the picture right here is going to be the main prize. It's boxed up, unopened, and ready to give away. Ready to be shipped out, actually.
Nice.
And there's
now that I look at that picture, I'm kind of like, damn, I should have like put the bats somewhere else and then used the mech like Godzilla to grab the tail end of the helicopter, like it was trying to bring it down and shit.
Yeah, that would be dope as hell, actually. Oh, dude, I can't wait for the mech. We'll talk about that later. So the trees look amazing. I have a set of trees that Brandon made for me. And I still have them, but they're also kind of like Mortal Kombat style with like the little.
I just did the trunks, just the trunks.
Yep. with the faces.
Yeah, with the faces. Yeah. But like I think you put a spot for like candle, like the little tea candles to go in.
Yeah,
and,
I try
like,
to do it with that. Yeah.
I still have those trees, by the way.
I've got some somewhere too. A couple. Those are the first trees I ever like really messed with.
But those trees didn't look like this tree.
No, these are way cooler. These are way better.
Holy crap.
So I have those foam trees, which are the bigger, all hand carved, and they obviously provide a different type of aesthetic, right? But then one of the things I unveiled at Legion's Con that was extremely popular, and I actually sold out of all of them, and I'm starting to rebuild inventory now.
Well, there's different kinds of trees.
I offer different like styles that are a little thinner, right? For the different aesthetic. It's still my sculpt, but it's, you know, it's printed, so I get to give basically make it a little more affordable, and then, you know, different sizes. So technically this is a small tree or a baby tree next to this one. But if you take this now in 18 scale, it's a full-size tree. So technically, you know, you have different variations in sizes, you know, different shrubbery. They're kind of big, so I got
just the way they're moving, it almost looks real with like wind blowing.
Yeah, right. Very natural.
Right. So that was another thing too. I wanted to get an even more natural kind of flow and feel for it, because, you know, a lot of photographers or videographers, though, you have the wind blowing over here and kind of get that movement in the wind and that full tactile picture and all that good stuff. So I got a whole plethora of just different styles and different sizes that I'll be offering, small trees, bushes, all sorts of stuff, because there really isn't any world building accessories in either of those scales. You know, you can go buy trees for HO trains, you can go buy for O scale, but you can't buy for 12 scale, you can't buy for 18 scale. And if you can, they're usually really, really pricey, and it's like, it looks fake. It doesn't really look like it needs to look right, and you want it to scale right with the figure. You want a tree to be a lot taller than a figure, not look like a bush next to a figure. So
exactly,
you know, I'm trying to fill those voids.
So
I mean, you should get a bunch of the trees for your monkeys and have them all like swinging through the trees.
Dude, literally, like I want to set up like an entire like diorama for it. I'm trying to figure out the button. There it goes. Yeah, because I have a giant monkey army at home. On my shelves, but like I don't have but the issue is my toy room doesn't have space for like giant trees. That's where I'm lacking, right? The space.
You got a
I'm
kitchen
lacking
table.
space. I have a kitchen table, but dude, so I was on Grown Ass Men Toys toy room tours, and I showed off like I guess essentially my house because like I have toys like kind of everywhere. My wife has already been amazing with me keeping boxes of random toys like in our master bedroom, and like in her closet, and then like in my closet in the laundry room. I can't do stuff anymore. Like I've used all my points up with her at this point, so I'm not taking any more advantages of different locations.
You gotta make a she shed in the back, in the backyard.
I need to get a bigger house or extend my what's it called, the attic. I need to make an attic room.
There you go. Get rid of one of the kids or the wife. You know, some.
I mean, dude, my master bedroom is bigger than any apartment I ever lived in.
Dude, there's so much wasted space in there. Like it's like stupidly large with like nothing in there.
My master bedroom is literally the size of. It's bigger than my 2-bedroom apartment that I had like in DC or like in Northern Virginia. It's crazy. It's probably bigger than Brandon's place.
Probably.
Yeah. Right.
It's literally borderline insane how big the master bedroom is. Again, this is awesome. Now this is I don't know what this is, to be honest with you, because I'm not huge on Joe's, but
The Terradrome.
Yeah.
Is this the Terradrome? Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, those guns are huge.
That's what she said.
Like bigger than his tank.
Hey, Zakane is not here.
Big
Okay.
guns.
No, this is awesome, and you could. It looks like you could seat people in here. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
a chair. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's based off of the toy, the '80s toy, and the TV show.
Okay.
That's just ridiculous. And it's great.
Thank you.
Just the work, man. Although, like, here's some sandbags in different colors too. We were talking about that.
The green. Yeah, I offer them in green and tan because those are pretty much the two colors that usually are the most prevalent ones. But if somebody wanted like some purple ones, I could do that too.
AKA Wholesome Warlock, if you're still in the chat, if you need some purple sandbags, there you go, Brody.
I'll be more than happy to sandbag you, bro.
Nothing like getting sandbagged.
And then you have the towers here as well. That's on your website also.
Yep.
So again, we have a special code for 10% off, guys.
Yep.
Go ahead and utilize that code because you get 10% off your entire purchase. Dude, this is just amazing work. It's just
Thank you.
like this is the whole thing.
Yeah. Yep. Both sections.
And
All
it's
four
just-
sections.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Just having the space for this is just amazing. Like if you have the space, fucking great for you guys.
Like your bedroom.
Yeah. Like your bedroom, bro.
Dude, no. Listen, as I said, I've already passed my luck. I'm done. Like my wife, the one thing she said to me was, "You cannot bring toys into our bedroom." I have boxes of toys in our bedroom right now, laying on the floor. They're not out, so they're in boxes. So I actually just got rid of.
What do you sleep with under your pillow?
No, none. I don't sleep with anything. But I actually just sold like 4 Mezco Wolverines yesterday. So that helped me a lot. I got rid of they come in 2 per case. So I got rid of 2 cases right there. I was like, oh shit, there's 2 boxes gone. Hell yeah. But now I have to figure out what to do with all the Action Force figures because they're all sitting in boxes. Like I have like 8 boxes of Action Force figures just sitting. I need a party. That's what I need to have.
Again, this view, just like how small the Dragonfly looks and the his tank looks like a little like Hot Wheels car. Like it's insane just how large that is. It's like a.
You about to pop?
No, I'm good. I'm great.
You're
I'm holding back laughter because I'm an idiot. Don't worry about it.
He's catching everything I'm throwing, you know?
All right, let's. I think then. Just press. Oh, that's a picture of us at Legion's Con. I wanted to throw that in there. Should that's play.
You guys were clearly wearing heels because You know, you guys ain't that tall in real life.
He wears lifts.
Fake news. Fake news.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, no. Now this is at Legion's Con, your Mech.
Yep.
Yeah. And I remember
Good old Atlas.
how it was all magnetized and how dope it was.
Gain sent me a picture of that from the floor when he saw it the first time, and I was like, "Holy fuck!"
You gotta print. You gotta print a 1-to-1 scale for the backyard.
Bro.
Dude,
Jeff was like, "Get the wet wipes! Someone get the wet wipes!"
you could do the one that Transformers did, like the 4.5 foot, like the 4.5 foot. You would print one of those. That would be freaking amazing. But
I could, but
like a car seat for a baby, like in the middle, that would be phenomenal, dude. You know how many people would buy that just for shits and giggles?
I don't even have kids, and I want one.
yo, what if I just make it big enough that you could fit like a Dobby-sized dog in the cockpit, and you just make it his little bedroom? Oh, look at Jeff's eyes light up! Holy shit!
Hell yeah, I'd put Dobby in that thing.
So you say you mess with like RC cars and stuff, right? Imagine you make the what's that thing that Hasbro does, the Robos and whatever, like the Transformer. Imagine you made one that you could like walk and kind of control with a remote, like just simple, but just kind of.
I'm pretty sure the DoD would be contacting him at that point and wondering what they can do. Which go for it.
Yeah, right.
Couple servos,
listen,
like.
Don't be surprised, like 2 years from now in Call of Duty, and you hit that call and you get the baby mech that walks around shooting people. Just saying.
Yeah.
Dude, that would be so amazing.
Dude, yeah, this is
J-Mac, I am all of 5'9" soaking wet, bro. They just made 5'9" look super short.
Oh.
I mean, I'm 6 foot, so, and then Poi's a little taller than I am, so. Man,
for no reason. No reason. Tall for no reason.
I mean, we changed light bulbs a little bit, so.
I'm 6'3", if that counts.
I mean, you see, he's short. He's taller than all of us.
I am a giant man. This is true.
I'm taller than Brandon.
Wait, how tall are you?
I'm 6'3".
Jesus, for what reason?
You're only taller than me by like an inch.
So I'm the size of a Geo Metro. Like, I'm the size of a Geo Metro, and a Geo Metro is small for a car, but big for a Jeff. So like that, I'm that sized.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I mean, J-Max is laughing it up, man. that's fine, dude.
I like the couches that you only sit on if you're drunk as hell, that you would not want to sit on otherwise.
The disgusting casting couches, yeah.
Yeah, those are nice.
I'm with it.
Ninja came up to about like my shoulder, like my bicep a little bit when we first met, so that was pretty funny.
Well, if he came up to your bicep, then I'm just like maybe about like a smidge above that.
Yeah, shoulder length. That's bad.
You guys
Wait, do you like sew that stuff, or do you like use glue to like kind of glue stitch it all together for the couches?
Both. It depends. It depends on exactly what I'm doing, but both. I'll do both.
Yeah. I tried sewing. It's hard.
Yeah.
So, are these wooden crates, are they on your page as well?
You know what? I don't know. See, and that's the other thing. I get so busy doing the shit that I do that I forget to do the other stuff, like throw things on my site, and then I'll like look up at my shelf and I'll be like, why do I have 47 hydrants in stock? Nobody's buying fire hydrants, and it's like, yeah, no one's gonna buy anything they don't know you have, dummy. And then I look on the website and I'm like, oh shit, it's not there. So yeah, I think this is one of those items I gotta put on the website.
Actually, just reminded me, I have this too. You had sent me this with one of my orders.
Oh yeah, yep. The tavern for the mythic stuff with the swappable rooftop with the swappable tabletop.
Yeah, with 2 stools.
And the stools, yep.
This is cool. On my Cesare Roman army.
See, wholesome warlock. It's not the first time I sold somebody's stool. You know.
He just got the unscented version.
That's
Yeah.
very simple.
It's a good dio piece for sure. That's for damn sure. Yeah. Now let's go back to this mech. Now let's look at this thing. It's holding up a troll figure.
Well, and the thing is, not only is it holding up a Mythic Legion's troll, but that's a custom troll that I added 2 inches of height on with the hooves and custom parts and that big ass head. So this thing weighs way more than a regular troll does.
That's right. You had all the custom trolls at IshCon. Those I remember those. Those were sick.
Now this is insane. So now let's talk about the mech. Now it's all magnetic, right?
Yes.
It has a lot. Now here are the pictures you had sent me of the mech. Now let's how is it articulated? Do you have it in front of you by chance?
Yeah, let me grab it real quick.
Magnetic.
As you can see, it has movement, articulation right here.
Fuck, that has better articulation than some modern day figures.
Dude, has better articulation than I have. Some of these poses I can't do.
Also that. Thanks for having me here, Abby, by the way.
Yeah, dude, no worries, man. It's always fun having you on the screen, man.
Thank you. Jesus
I
Christ, man.
supersize you at this point. Just do
That is just goddamn. Every time.
I mean, the fact that it's magnetic, I just feel like it's like you could keep adding more and more to it.
Middle figure.
Yeah. Jeff, you got a
Nice.
question? How's Dobby doing?
Dobby's doing great. The reason that I had to go away last time was because Dobby got himself wrapped up in his blanket, and this happens a lot, and he can't really unwrap himself, and he was making sad Dobby noises, so I had to go unwrap him.
Hey, Duarte, just give me a smile at the camera. I want to screenshot this. Perfect, thank you.
So he stands just above 18 inches tall from the bottom all the way to the tip top right here on the top of the cabin. This obviously opens all the way up, closes. We got a functional hand right here, figure stands here, and then this is your little waist grabber, basically. And it's pretty big, so it'll grab, something small, something large, figure-wise. You can fit anything from a small 6-inch figure all the way up to like a 7-8 inch McFarlane figure in here. It's got plenty of space for that. Also has a little light up here, which the battery's dead right now, but a little light there on the cockpit. As far as articulation goes, well, we have, waist, right? And actually it's full 360 on the waist. He can Jean-Claude Van Damme better than Jean-Claude Van Damme can, right? So
Jeez.
right, full split.
It's better than all the Hasbro figures.
My Sub-Zero can't do that.
Right. So you have, as far as articulation on the leg, you have full 360, right? Because my proprietary design with the magnets and the gearing system inside, you could literally turn this 360 and just attach it on however you want.
That's a smart idea.
And you have that
This
hat.
right here is at full, bring it down. Like you can see the extension, about 6 inches that it gives when it's compressed all the way down as far as the leg goes and the knee. And obviously you have the split, you have the full rotation here. You have basically more than a 90 degree. This is about 90 right here. So about 70 degrees. So it's not double joint, but I mean, it's a mech. It's not supposed to be double jointed, right? I feel like it's more articulation than you need there anyways. Same with the ankle. I mean, you got all the way up. The toes, you have, all the way up as well with the little thruster at the bottom.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay.
The
Now,
same thing with the...
will there be attachment pieces to the thrusters as well in the future?
Well, yeah, actually the whole foot ankle piece is a magnetic attachment system as well, too.
Of course
So...
it is.
Dude, you could make so many separate accessory kits for this thing.
So I technically already have tracks designed for this. I have cannons, swords. I have all the guns, the weapons. Like, I have everything designed for it already. Like, I could do massive tiers and everything. Like, the back piece, right? I have a piece that attaches here with a tank and hoses for a flamethrower, or you can have the rover attached to it on the back, right? And the rover pops off, and then the rover itself pops off, right? For an example, it pops off, this lifts up, this has a magnet system too, which essentially swaps with wrist and hand. So this plugs into here, and you can use the cannon that would go into his wrist as well, because the wrist is also magnetic, ratchet, and quick release, right? So this is the hand. Now I can put like a cannon here, a blade, you know, whatever you want. As far as the hand goes, let me grab a figure because this usually helps out more with people. So not only do you have the special, you know, beautiful finger that we all love and enjoy, right? You got full articulation here with the fingers, the thumb, right? So that's an open hand. The other cool thing is you can get the little toy claw thing out of this too, right? Yeah, I made the articulation where you could literally bring it all the way down to here. And now you can grab it like this, you know, like a cradle. So kind of like a raptor claw in a sense, right?
Yeah. It's on all four sides at that point.
And then you have this right here. Basically, you got about a good 45 degrees on the wrist, and then you have full rotation, you know, with the quick release, as I mentioned. Now, I did, just because, fuck it, why not, right? I did do double joints on the elbow. You know, you can see them right there. So you actually get more articulation backwards than most figures sometimes, right? So like, I can do that, right? That's bent backwards. And then that's 90. But now with the double joint, I can literally go and get even more out of it, right? I have same thing, split wise, right? Full T-pose, full rotation on the shoulder itself, right? Same thing. And I did the quick release system this way too, because if you want to be funny or creative and you're like, oh, it'd be cool to put the legs on the feet and the feet on the legs, it's like, cool, no problem. Now there's a foot attached to it right there. All right, look at that.
You know,
bam.
Honestly,
here's a blaster.
Yeah.
Just looking at it in a very different way too, you could literally make it like a car. If you turn it the other way around with like four legs, essentially like a vehicle,
or like a big crawler kind of thing.
Or
so that was
with wings.
So that was one of the original ideas with this that I kind of have been already modifying. So like the arm itself, right? So you have your double joint, like I said, but then you also have, so this is your shoulder. You also have bicep twist, right? Up and down. So that's your arm. But what I had done originally, which was the idea for the thruster. So the thrusters is kind of like an Iron Man inspired thing, but at the same time, if you do something like this, right, now you got the thrusters, and now you got like a spaceship type of thing, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, you're looking at it from the front like this, laying down this way, right? Maybe I could design it where the seat would turn, and now it's like a cockpit that you're sitting a different way. So the other concept too that I had was, nothing is stopping this from being 18 scale if I can remove all these things and make a cockpit that slides in and maybe has a double seater, right? One on the bottom, one on the top, because technically it's kind of like you have your small avatar mechs, it's like your single person, or you have like your Gypsy Danger, which is like a skyscraper with two pilots in it. So this could essentially work for any scale. 1/24th, no problem. We'll make it a 3-seater if we want, or a 1-seater with a bunch of accessories. And there's just so many ways we can go. And ultimately, I want to offer the main cockpit, right? Which is essentially, these magnets are freaking strong too. Which is essentially, you know, this piece here, right? Which kind of looks like a Superman pod almost, right? Kind of thingy. But I want to offer this, and then just start offering a plethora of different arms, attachments, wheels, you know, that kind of thing. Maybe have a second kind of cockpit. This is a stand-up one. Maybe I want like a seated one, or a different kind of central cockpit, but then all the other parts are always interchangeable, because I want the customization to be a thing.
Yep.
Dude,
I want to keep it as close to open source as possible for my end users.
Yeah.
I mean, but the idea is that you could literally just buy one mech and then be able to buy attachment pieces to make it very different every single time, and that's where it's like amazing. The idea is amazing. I love the magnets as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Toy figures it out. Has a question. I really like that the character is standing in there. It's different. What made you decide to have a standing character versus a seated like most type mechs you would see?
Honestly, I'm a big fan of Charlie Hunnam as an actor and loved him in Sons of Anarchy, and then I loved him in why am I drawing in Pacific Rim, right, with Gypsy Danger, and that's where the inspiration came from with the standing and also the bracket that holds them in the back, because if you watch the movie, they have a similar kind of like arm that comes from behind and grabs them. So that was the inspiration for the cockpit and the standing, because I did get some, you could make it seated, and if you make it seated, the cockpit will technically be smaller, and it would be, but ultimately I wanted to build something for me that didn't have any corners cut. And now, depending on what they tell me from these factories, if I have to cut too many corners, then this might just be one of those, I make 10 or 20 of them at a higher price for the people that did want them, and I just move on to the next thing, because I refuse to give you guys garbage just to make a few bucks. I don't want that associated with the stuff that I do.
I feel like
That's a good way to be.
they can get it done with
hopefully. The other thing too is, right, like I have a price point in my head that I would love to try to stay at or under. But I know that there are people out there that have already said like, I don't care if it's this much, I'll buy it. And that's great. And I believe them. But if I told you, hey man, this mech, is going to be $700 by the time it's all said and done with all the crazy accessories that aren't even in here, most people might be like, I'm buying it. Fuck it. But what if I said, hey, this mech is $350 or $400? You might buy 2. You might actually buy 3. Maybe you might buy 4, or you might buy it, but then you might buy a shit ton of all the other extra accessories too, right? The ultimate goal is, me personally, if I like something, I want all in. Everything you got. I don't care what it is. I'll buy the all in thing, but I would like to feel like there's an incentive or some kind of way for me to, like, I guess, get some kind of money back. So if this mech is, let's say, $300 by itself, great. But if you want the kit that comes with everything, it's $500. So you save $150 or you save $200 versus buying it separately. But if you want to just buy it separately, that's okay too. So I want to try to give all those different options, because I don't want anyone to feel like they're forced to buy the expensive option, Yeah.
So there's a question for you, Duarte, in the chat. Creative Primitive, he's the 3D printer as well. Do you have a way to replace the magnets in case they lose charge or the magnets are reversed and repel each other, like a manufacturer defect?
Absolutely, because my magnets, I drill them out. So you'll notice that there's a screw.
Mm-hmm.
So that if this magnet takes a dump, I unscrew it and put a new one in.
Okay.
Sick.
Yep.
Dude, that's
but I haven't had, the only time I've ever had magnets lose polarity ever was if they've been exposed to extreme high heats, like super hot glue gun on a small magnet, or like a torch, or so. If you heat them up like a lot, it'll lose all its magnetic polarity 100%. But for these to lose the magnetic polarity, I'd have to melt the plastic. That's how hot it would get. So I don't think that'll ever be an issue. But if it is, yes, we can replace it. I don't like to make things that are a one-time use thing, because my luck, those things break. And then I'm like, fuck, I have to go buy 3 or 4 of them. So I like to make everything replaceable.
And that's a really good way of doing it too, because if something, doesn't work properly, it's an easy fix.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, this thing. Now, I guess let me ask this question: when is it going to be up for market?
Honestly, it depends. I'm just waiting to hear back from a few people that I've sent some stuff to, and I have a few other people that I have to send, like other people in the game that offer to help with it. And I'm going to give everybody a chance. It's kind of like a bidding war, right? To see what prices I get from people. This guy might quote me this price, while this guy quotes me 3 times more. And I'm not saying that the 3 times more is crazy, but I need to know what the difference is. Why is this guy $1 and you're $3? You know, like that $3 needs to make sense. So ultimately, that's the only thing that's stopping it is, okay, production and this much up front. And because I need to figure out the math, I need to make sure it makes sense. The Kickstarter, offer the guys the different incentives. Because one of the things I hate is when you have a Kickstarter and then that does fantastic. You want 50,000 and it did 300,000 and you're like, I didn't unlock anything. Like I just got the thing. I want to make sure I have unlocked things and things you probably never even seen that I haven't shown. But now you're like, oh yeah, we reached the threshold. I'm getting all of it. You know.
I have an idea what you could do. You can start your own version of Fan Home and sell piece by piece over a long stretch of time in different kits.
They call it a subscription. That way, it's locked in for like 24 months.
I gotta tell you something, bro. I think the subscription things are cool. I think that if I were to do that, I would have to literally hire someone just to deal with that, because there's gonna be that guy that's like me who's like, can I just buy it all up front right now? I want to have it all right now. Or there's that guy who's like, yeah, $50 a month, no problem. But then like his girlfriend leaves him, and you know, his dog's sister's cousin's niece's nephew like lost a tooth, and all of a sudden they can't pay that month, and then they hit you up 7 years later and they're like, do you still have that Mech arm that I'm missing? Bro, recipe for disaster. I don't know how they stay in business, but hey, Godspeed,
that's
right?
The thing. It's like they get your money, but then you're kind of like forced into buying every single release, otherwise you're
what they give you the crack hit up first, so the first couple of kits are like stupid cheap to give you the feel to like build it, and you're like, oh shit, and you've made something. You got like a left shoulder going on, and then they hit you with that big.
They don't incentivize you anymore with like buying it all up front for a cheaper price, and you just chose not to, or they just don't offer it.
So you can do 2 options. You can do the 12-month plan. I don't think it's cheaper. I think it's just you can pay more faster. Maybe it is a little bit cheaper. It might be like 15% cheaper or something.
Okay.
That's still better than nothing.
Right.
Yeah, but
the other thing too is
a lot more.
I know that's obviously licensed, officially licensed, I would assume, but like a lot of these companies too, there's always that fear, like, what if they disappear tomorrow and you're like halfway through this shit? Then what?
I mean, yeah, it is possible. So this was actually, I didn't know this. This was a project done originally to like the Asian market first, or like Europe or something. And there was like so many fans cried out for it. This company, Fan Home, kind of like adopted it all, and now they're doing their own stuff. I see the ads all over Instagram.
And what scale is that? By the when it's done,
it's gonna be about as tall as Galactus.
So I'll tell you right now,
quarter scale.
It might be even smaller than that. It can't. No, there's no way it's quarter scale, because that's not even 12th scale.
I mean, Galactus was like the size of the Catwoman, NECA Catwoman I bought, which was a quarter scale.
I was thinking the NECA TMNT Turtles.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be that size.
Remember, like 5 dudes got to fit inside the head, and it's still really small scaled. If you,
so
Ranger shows up and gives them the business.
So just to give you guys an idea, because I did kick this around in my head before, like when I was having crazy daydreams and shit, but. Just to give you guys an idea, what he's building is the Dino Megazord, right? And the Dino Megazord is 42 meters tall. Okay.
Yeah.
So, that's about 1,600 inches. So, just to give people an idea, if we were to just be crazy as fuck and say, who gives a shit? And we're going to make this 1/12 scale Megazord, like a true 1/12 scale Megazord.
I think I clocked it at like 6 feet.
It would need to be 137.79 inches tall, which gives us 11.5 feet tall to be true 1/12 scale. So what you got is probably like 1/100th or like 1/150, something like that.
Yeah. But it's, I mean, it'll be the biggest as of right now, like the biggest Megazord.
Oh yeah,
like, I think you can buy like. You know,
will it articulate and stuff, or is it just like an over glorified statue?
Oh no, it's fully
Okay.
Fully
articulated.
articulated.
It's a mix of like high-end plastics and a lot of metal die cast and screws, and there's
Okay.
lights that go in it and all kinds of shit. Like,
So now, but you can pull all the Zords apart and be separate from, or it has to just be Megazord form.
oh, so like right now, like this is Mastodon's head,
Right,
but
which
like
is the
you
shield.
build, yeah. So you build it all as the separate Zords, and then you combine it together.
Oh, that's okay. So that's cool. So what's the total
Yeah.
come out to? Like 2,500, something like that.
Probably a little bit more.
Maybe a little bit more. It's I gotta do all the math, but it's basically like I think it's like the kits are like $174.99 for like I don't know, like the last cheap one was kit number 3. So 4 on is like to 24 is like 170 something.
Kaiju Kitty wants to know if Megazord comes with a PP.
So look, you get like cool swag on the way. So you get like mugs and shirts, and like there's a big ass like light up dios stand that you build with it too. And there's other shit, maybe like a power sword. I don't know. Like there's every tier you go deeper, the rewards get like better and better that they bundle in with it. Probably like a backpack and some other kind of stuff. But
Creative Primitives also asking, does it have lights?
it does have lights. It does.
It's always good to go deep. You get the best rewards that way.
Now, let's get back to the mech, though, because I don't want to talk about Power Rangers. J-Mac is saying, can we get treadmill legs?
Oh yeah, I have like Johnny 5 style like tread design thing already for it, bro. Yeah, I'm 10 steps ahead of you, brother. I haven't shown any of that stuff off yet because I don't want to get overexcited and get other people excited with it too, and then find out that this is gonna be like a 1 of 20 thing or a 1 of 10, you know? Because I got guys like Woody who are like, bro, I don't care, I'll buy it. Like, let me know, tell me how much it is. I don't care, let me know. And there's other guys too. So I've been told that by so many people already, including the gentleman that just left with the GI Joe DAO. He's like, yeah, put me on that list. I don't care, just let me know. That I'm like, maybe I should just make 10 of them and say fuck it and move on to the next thing.
Well,
but
make 11 because I want to be on the list too. So
there you go. So ultimately, you know, like a lot of times I'm not going to sit here and just, you know, mope over what could have been. Like if it doesn't work out, I'll move on to the next thing, right? Because ultimately the goal would be where, you know, the money could kind of help me make money and move forward a little bit and maybe hire some people, get some help, be able to produce things a little faster. But I don't want to sacrifice quality at all.
yeah. Now, Max also said partner up with an existing toy maker and skip the Kickstarter.
So I am in talks with a few people that I might be doing some stuff with, which I'm totally not opposed to at all. But I'm very, very big on transparency. So, you know, some people don't like that, and it's okay. If you don't, it's just not for me because I don't like to feel like I'm putting in more work and getting duped for it. You know, if it's a 50-50 thing, it's a 50-50 thing. If it's not, I like things up front and transparent as possible. So that's the only thing that would stop me from moving forward with certain people is the lack of transparency.
And then looks like last question is Creative Primitive says or asks shoulder mounted weapons.
Yes. So actually, you'll see, and I don't have them on here, but you'll see on the top right here on his shoulder like strap, you'll see there's 2 holes here, 1 and 2, and then there's 1 and 2 there. So they're designed specifically to be able to get mountain weapons that go into those guide rails there, and then it gets bolted to the top. So a whole bunch of different stuff, satellites, weapons, yeah, you name it.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That is awesome,
Man.
dude. I can't wait till this comes out. Honestly speaking,
Bro, I hope so too. I would love to have an army of these things just standing around posing like they're the next boy band or something, you know?
Some big soft good pants or something. Yeah.
Yeah, listen, I'm not opposed to it at all. Like listen, I would love for everybody to do like the pose, right? Where it's like picking your nose and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Uncle Duarte wants you to buy a mech.
there you go. No, I saw the mech at Legion's Con and I was very excited for it. It looks amazing. That it would look even better when it's displayed like nicely in the giant ass dio. one of the ones that you make on top of that.
Right. A lot better than just sitting on my shelf.
I mean, the fact is though, like, I mean, this is like the concept is really cool, and I love the fact that you've made it so in a unique manner where you can change literally everything up. The one mech can turn into a lot of different things, and which is what's really unique about it. And not a lot of toy companies do that, and not a lot of companies do that in general because they want to keep taking your money. But you found a different outlet saying like, I'll just keep releasing more accessories. Yeah. So you could change the one thing you bought versus buying 12 of them.
Right, exactly. You can always get the next new best thing, but you'll always have that main. You can add garages and accessories to your house, but you have your home, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's really where I like the concept of this. And I think a lot of people are there too. So
cool.
Yeah, man.
All right.
I'm down.
Perfect.
I am down.
100%. Now it looks like it's closing time, guys. So, Jeff, where you at next?
I'll be on with Shane in 30 minutes, an hour maybe, on Same Time Toys. I'll be hanging out with you on Tuesday on Open Mic, because that's my life now, I guess.
Yeah, why not?
Thursday we're at Zakanan's channel for Figure It Out. I'm not going to tell you what we're going to talk about, but you're not going to want to miss this episode. That's all I'm saying. Ooh. And yeah, that's what we got going on this week.
Duarte, how about you, man?
I'll be on 3POA tomorrow night, so that'll be exciting. And then pretty much starting next week, I'm going to start dropping some serious bombs of stuff that's coming out, pre-order stuff. Everyone that has pre-ordered Street Fighter Dio or your Turtle Vans, I got an overwhelming amount of orders on those things, like to the point that I genuinely did not expect it. So that's why things were delayed a lot longer than I expected them to. And so I did get a lot of them out, and I had some at IshCon with me. I'm sure you guys remember me having the vans out there and all that stuff. But the last batch of those van orders are going out at the end of the month as well with the Street Fighter stuff. So after that, there won't be anything else other than the pre-orders I'm putting up basically this month and next month. Next month being the bigger one of them, the first ever Duarte Labs. And then this month I will be dropping the pre-order on Guile. I'll be doing the pre-order on the bonus stage, the brick stage. I will be doing the pre-order on the tanks for Metal Slug and a few other smaller things, including all the stuff I just dropped for the Mezco Gomez and the Scale Garage enthusiast. And yeah, so got a lot of little irons in the fire.
That's awesome, dude.
Is your stuff like open pre-order, or is it like you have a set amount you're gonna do?
So I do open pre-order for a certain period of time on certain things, and then other ones will do like the Joy Toy Turtle there will be like a made to order thing where I just have like a window where once you order, I'll tell you, hey, it'll be done in this amount of time, you know, hit you up for the rest of the money. But like the Street Fighter stuff, I do a certain window for two reasons. One, I don't want to do 100 of them, and two, I also want to keep the value for you guys. So the less there is, the more valuable it is, right? And, you know, someone asked me the other day, how do you feel about, like, because I've seen guys sell my Street Fighter Ryu Dios for double the price on eBay. And I'm like, it's fucking great, because that means that my stuff isn't being sold for less. It's actually gaining more value, which in turn gives more value to the guy that has his, right? So I think it's a cool community that way. Not saying that I'm opposed to dropping the Ryu stage again as a surprise 6 months from now or a year from now, you know, especially with Storm dropping their figures, like why not reissue a few, right? But I might make some tweaks, or I might, you know, change a little something on it. So I try to keep things limited because I also don't want to burn out from doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, that's very true. Brandon, how about you? Where are you coming up next?
Tuesday. Open mic night.
Why are you asking, bro? You know where he's going.
I always ask, dude.
But actually, you know what? I'm gonna start throwing this out there. This little name right here is not just a name. That is my IG, and I'm very close to 1K. So I do weird shit over there. I do a little. I dabble in a little bit of customizing, a little bit of stuff. I make cool
follow Brandon
things
on
like this,
Instagram.
bikes and all kinds of weird things. If you all the funny shit from the shows, I clip it sometimes, and we do funny stuff over there. We got the famous Augie over here.
I will never let that go. Will I?
Just hit me up on IG and give me a little follow if you don't mind.
There you go. So I will be on It's Kato tomorrow at 9 p.m. And then I feel like something's happening on Sunday. Oh, Brandon, we're doing a pre-record on Sunday.
Oh yes, we are.
Yeah, we're doing a pre-record show on Sunday. It won't air until one of the Fridays when I'm out of town. So that's when it will air. And then on Tuesday is open mic, which I will be missing. Unless I show up late. I might show up late. So Brandon, you have captain chair on that one. And then the following Tuesday, the 25th, I'll be missing that as well. Open mic. At least I might be there for the beginning just to say hi. And
you're fired.
You're fired. I'm going to Toy Migos. I'm trying to spread the name of FigureFightClub. So I've been invited to Toy Migos. So I'm going to go there and say hi to everyone there and see if they can bring some people back with me.
There you go.
So that's the idea. I mean, the goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers by March 7th. And
appreciate J-Mac.
We're pushing. I'm not even looking at the chat right now. Thanks, J-Mac. And what else was I say? There was one more thing. Yeah, March 7th, we're going to do the giveaway stream, the party. And next Friday, we have Holly and Rob post Harbinger Studios for Collegiate Legends. They'll be on our show. Yeah.
Nice. I gotta when they come out, I gotta order me a whole squad so I can paint them Philadelphia Eagle green, baby.
That's right. You're an Eagles fan.
Fly, Eagles, fly. But listen, not like all these half-ass scrubs that are, that's the one thing I hate, right? Every year I'm like, oh, do I need a new jersey? Do I need a hat? Do I need a beanie? I go into the store. I'm like, oh, they got them. They got my size. Now all of a sudden, everybody's a fucking Eagles fan. Listen, I've been an Eagles fan since I was in diapers, okay? Like, I suffered through the Donovan McNabb era and fucking Andy Reid. So this was like the ultimate, like, slap in the face. So yeah, my condolences.
I live here. I don't even like the Panthers.
Yeah, listen, I don't blame you. But ultimately, this for me was more like payback's a bitch. You asshole who wasted 14 years of our lives and didn't even get us to a damn Super Bowl except for that one time, and we got trashed. When Donovan McNabb threw up that Super Bowl, he had the flu or some shit. He threw up on the sideline. I got excited because, I don't know about you guys, but like Willie Beeman, one of the greatest movies ever. So I thought this man threw up. He's about to have the game of his life. Yeah, right. He should have just stayed home.
Well, didn't McNabb get traded to the Redskins right after that too?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I went to a Redskins game and I didn't have a jersey at the time for the Redskins, so my buddy gave me his McNabb jersey, and he's like, "Dude, people may fight you for wearing that jersey." And
bro, I'm telling you,
people were like, "What the fuck? Why are you wearing that jersey?" I was like, "Dude, I don't even know who the hell he is."
I'm telling you.
So I get it. But again, Duarte, I appreciate you coming on. We'll definitely have to have you back.
Thank you for having me.
Jeff, thanks for being a surprise. And we'll see you.
I'm a Jeff.
And Duarte, you're welcome to come on open mic night as well, man. Like,
man.
We dropped
Thank
the
you, guys.
And just chat.
I got to try to get on more of these and like to jump on and stuff. But dude, let me tell you, man, a lot of times, like, I'm happy when guys are on like late night because I'm usually working late at night. So I get to just hear and I might chime in here and there. But a lot of times, again, it's difficult for me. Like, I got to be honest, every time I do these shows, I have a great time. I love it. Mm-hmm. But I would love it even more if we were having this talk and I was like,
yep,
sparks were flying,
working on something, right? So like I could, if I'm working on something, I could be on this chat for the whole day. If I'm just talking, I'm like, I can't wait till I'm done so I can go cut this phone. Yeah.
But here's the thing, though, at open mic night, you could actually do that. You can
Right. So I'll
you
have
could
to
be
try it out.
working while chatting with us and just randomly popping your head up. Hey guys, and like this. Is
I'll
what
just
I
have the
think.
camera pointed to the job so you guys can watch
Yeah,
while I'm
Exactly.
just doing
You
shit.
can literally do that.
And
on
you'll have
every
9
website,
people
so.
constantly asking you, "Hey, what are you making?" And then people in the chat will be asking you, "Hey, what are you making?" And then every 5
Right.
minutes you can repeat yourself, and it'll be a great time.
We'll just flash what you're making at the bottom. Scroll across the
Exactly. We'll
screen.
just flash it.
What are you fucking
Just like
making this? Stop asking.
He is working on ...
so, just like everyone in the chat right now, go to the dioking.com. We have FFC 10% off your entire order. Let's show the man some love. So
Mine's
Please.
with at least.
he's making
Buy
us
Some sandbags.
sweet. Yeah, buy some sandbags. Let me shit. I always recommend this pack right here because this is
It's
awesome.
not that bad.
Yeah. So buy sandbags. Buy I don't know what they're called, but buy these.
They're Jersey barriers, bro.
Jersey barrier.
I was gonna say
No,
concrete
they're
barrier.
actually called Jersey barriers. I don't
Are
know
they
why,
really?
but I guess they were invented in New Jersey, but they're called Jersey barriers. It's the craziest
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, get those.
Who would have
and-
thought the armpit of America could produce such beautiful concrete things, right?
with bullet holes, of course.
Right, right.
Again, Duarte it was awesome. We'll definitely have you back for sure.
Likewise. Thanks,
And
guys.
Chad, I appreciate everything you guys do. You got us to 800 today, and I really appreciate that. But the goal is 1,000. Let's get there. We'll get there.
Do
We're
it.
gonna push.
Tell
We're
your
gonna push for
friends.
it. Tell your friends. Tell your parents. Tell your neighbors. And peace out, guys. Thank you.
As we wrap up tonight's fun, the figures in talk, so we've just begun. Join us next time for thrills anew. In the world of Figure Fight Club, it's all for you. Make sure to subscribe and smash that like button. See you next week on Figure Fight Club. Stay strutting. This isn't goodbye, it's just a see you later. In the meantime, go check out another creator. So keep your figures on display until we gather here someday. Remember the tales and the laughs we shared. Here at Figure Fight Club, you're treasured and cared.